Dencal, if it'll bring you up, because I saw your request. We'll start out with Dencal on Instagram. Dencal, a good evening. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In too deep to walk away. I want you to elaborate on that. I think I kind of agree with you. But why do you suggest when it comes to Iran, we are currently in too deep to walk away?
Well, I mean, we've caused so much disruption in the world markets due to this oil situation that we can't just walk away. He can't just say, okay, we won and walk away because they would still have control of the straits and that would still control world markets. And
So
MAGA would not like that if he went or walked away and permanently left gas prices as high as they are.
So as opposed to walking away, what do we do? I mean, what is the okay? If we don't walk away and we stay, what does this end with an occupation of Iran or something?
We are in what we in the military in some political forms called the slippery slope. That's greased down. You can't just walk away because every action has a reaction. So by not taking these things into account, if you saw Tulsi Gabbard in her, in her interview or whatever they're questioning, she all but admitted they told him about them closing down the straits, what it would do to world markets. They told him about everything, but she just kept saying, "Well, it's his decision to decide what's a threat or not."
So in other words, they gave him the logistics that did not look good whatsoever, and he decided to pursue with the matter anyway.
He decided to go into the Middle East knowing that Iran would retaliate against our foreign deployed bases all around the Middle East that are not protected by Patriot battles or batteries or Golden Dome or any of that stuff. He chose to go in there, and that's why those people are dead now. It's because he decided we're going to go in there anyway. He was saying that during the first week, it's pretty much over.
Yeah. So what do you think is the end goal? That's what I'm trying to figure out, though. If we can't walk away, I mean, well, obviously not. This is not going to go on forever, but I mean, you making it sound like you certainly are talking about a protracted, a prolonged conflict. I mean, is that are we seeing remnants of Iraq or Afghanistan? Are you seeing something that could be months, if not years, long?
Yes, exactly. And we have gone in at the same pretense as we did Iraq, with weapons of mass destruction being their nuclear program, the exact same rationale. We said we were going to be liberated of the same shit we already done, that the American people swore was the worst thing ever. We are doing that again, and MAGA is applauding it and saying, "Oh, well, it's worth having $4 gas if we could take down this regime." The people didn't pose any threat to us.
Why do you? I mean, you got a point when you suggest that MAGA is overwhelmingly in favor of the conflict. MAGA is, even though they don't want to call it a war, MAGA is absolutely in favor of what's going on. Why do you think that is? Why do you believe MAGA is down for what's happening?
Because Trump is the cult of personality. They have embedded themselves in his brain. These same people, we could go back into your videos and they would be saying, "Oh, we're the party of peace. We want to get out of the Middle East. We don't want to do this anymore. If you vote for Trump, is a vote for peace." All of these same people are right now saying, "Yeah, it's worth it." Yeah, now, they're not giving up anything. They're not sacrificing anything. And they're looking at these people that are dying saying, "Well, it's worth a couple of soldiers so we can get rid of this tyrannical tyrannical to who? They don't have weapons and missile systems that can come halfway to America."
Well, I mean, but you got to admit, this isn't something unique to Trump. I mean, the Biden, the Obama, the Bush administration, they all made it sound like Iran was some kind of major problem. They didn't invade Iran like Trump did, but they certainly were saying it was a problem.
They did say it was a problem. It's a problem, but if you know history and you go back and understand what the problem is, it's our presence in the Middle East is the reason they have a problem with us. Not just because they don't like America, they don't know us. But they do know that our country is everywhere around them, bases all around them, and it's trying to control how they sell their oil, how they conduct business around the world, who they can buy from. Of course, they don't like America.
Yeah. So we end up being there for an extended period of time. But let's say, for instance, when we do leave, gas is $1.20 a gallon, and we got some serious dominance in the region. Would it then be worth it? Would it then be a success for the Trump administration? Well, based on what you're saying, you believe this conflict is going to outlast the Trump administration, right?
Yes, the remnants of it. I mean, when whether Trump says it's a war or whatever he calls it, an excursion in his mind, the aftermath is still going to be there. We're creating more terrorists as we continue to bomb. Those terrorists don't just go away when we say, okay, we done with it.
Yeah.
So yes, this thing will still be going on after he's gone. This stuff will have effects on the Middle East for the next decade. Even if we pull up chops right now and walk away, because we've done so much damage to world economies and markets. We got countries saying, fuck you, we're not coming to help you.
Yeah. So I guess in the interim, like as of right now, because the Trump administration is saying two things. First, the Trump administration today, we keep saying Trump administration, but fact is, when it comes to the Trump administration, it's really just Trump. I mean, the administration is pretty much silent, but President Trump stated that he's not for regime change again. And I hear the chuckle, and he is indicating once again, no boots on the ground. Is there any part of that you believe or disbelieve?
Well, you already knew my position. It's an unpopular one, but boots on the ground in Iran is not a foregone conclusion. Yes, we're sending more troops now. I know, they had the first deployment of between 25 and 5,000 Marines.
Right.
Now they got another wave that's headed over there now.
Oh, wait. They have increased the amount being deployed. There's a second deployment?
Yes.
Numbers?
They said it was, I'm not sure on Army numbers, but they said it's like another regiment. They said it's the actual same group that was the first to go into Iraq.
So these are Army now.
I think they said Expeditionary Force. I can't remember the exact group, but yeah.
Is that what they call them, an expeditionary? You going on an expedition? It's somebody else's shit. You go an expeditionary force. It's an expeditionary warrant. Can we come in? Yeah.
Just going on the expedition. You know when they went on the expedition to America, right?
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no, the colonizers came here with we're on an expedition. Yeah,
we just want to see what's going on over there. That's all.
Just taking somebody's shit. Yeah.
This is a slippery slope, and all of these munitions. I don't know if you paid attention what happened, that he, in order to help the global market, he removed restrictions and sanctions on Russia, right?
Yeah, and all of the European theaters, the ones who are asking for help, they're upset about that because he's made life easier for Russia now that they can sell their oil again, which was something you were trying to strap them for to help Ukraine. But so he's freed the Russians, and all of Europe is pissed off about it. Yeah, I've heard about it.
And just today they had to alter those sanctions because once we let them sell oil freely, they sent oil to Cuba. And so now we pissed off. We had to amend the sanctions to say, no, not this. You can't send it to Cuba or North Korea. We designating who they could send their oil to after we removed the sanctions. And Putin told them, well, look, we'll stop helping Iran if you totally stop helping Ukraine. So now they're negotiating
So we're gonna end up fighting Iran indefinitely, and we're gonna watch the Ukrainians get slaughtered.
And in the background, Trump is going to be doing everything he can to help Putin, and MAGA is not going to think twice about it. They don't think nothing about everything that's been said about him and his connection with Putin. They don't think nothing of it. They just think he's just, just being.
I was told this guy was one of the best deal makers ever. These don't sound like good deals, didn't Cal?
They're all reactionary. Nothing is forethought. They're like, we're going to go in and then we're going to figure it out as we go along. Well, there's people's lives in jeopardy when you do stuff like that. There's no way that they shouldn't have sent these extra troops to the Middle East before they actually went into Iran, because those bases over there in Bahrain and UAE and all of those bases are not protected by Patriot missile battery. They're not protected. So you just literally left our people out to dry. And then once they got killed, Trump says, I talked to the families and they said that they wanted us to continue to fight, to finish this war. And then the dad of the soldier came, I didn't say shit like that. I ain't told him nothing about let's finish the job.
Well, Trump also said that Iran had been seeking a ceasefire and they just weren't meeting the terms we were presenting. And the foreign minister of Iran came forward and said, we ain't never requested a ceasefire. Kind of like I told you motherfuckers, I ain't never scared. I mean, I don't know, but Trump does say some wild things. So in other words, he lied on the father of a deceased soldier.
Yeah, on Gold Star families. And they have no problem with that. They got no problem with him using when they bring home the dignitary transfer the bodies, he wearing a ball cap and turned it into a damn campaign to raise.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he is raising money with the casket in the foreground.
And the parents distinctly asked them to not have it televised, make it private. So he made it private, but he had his own people take pictures of him, with his hat in front of a casket and used it to collect money. Remember, the dude can't even run anymore. He's still collecting funds from these dumbass MAGAs.
Well, I kind of wonder. Now, I know you can't sue the president, but I wonder about the campaign, because if you're making money for your campaign off of the image of my dead son, for which you receive no permission to do so, kind of like using your image in a TV commercial without your authorization, seems like they would be able to at least sue the Trump campaign for doing that.
With this administration, good luck.
Yeah,
we had them break the laws at Arlington Cemetery, where you're not supposed to film, especially not political advertisement. And what did Trump do? People don't remember, but one of his staff members pushed the people out of the way and stuff when they told him he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
and they did it anyway. People are terrified to try to go against the president.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah, that's the part I don't like. Listen, at the end of the day, if somebody treats Trump wrong or defames him or whatever, he has a case against him. What I don't like, and I think that this is something that needs to change after we switch commander-in-chief. I don't care if it's a liberal or a Democrat. In my opinion, if you cannot sue the president while he is in commission of running this nation, he should not be able to sue you either. I mean, Trump has launched a lot of lawsuits after, I guess, liberal colleges, television stations, media outlets. Now, we can go back and forth on whether the lawsuits were legit or not. Maybe they were legit, maybe they were not. But the fact is, Trump is defaming all kinds of people, saying all kinds of crazy shit about people that's not true. So I think it's really wrong for him to be able to sue people, but people cannot sue him. So I do believe that's part of the law they need to change. Like, both of y'all got to wait until he is out of office before you can take this stuff to court, because he's suing a bunch of people like that.
It's like every president will be like, people criticize the president. That's a part of the. That's a part of
he'll be proud.
Say that again.
everybody should be able to criticize the president. Like that should not be.
Well, but criticizing him and lying about him are two different things. Now, his argument is that in some of these cases, people are making up lies about him, or trying to pursue fake charges against him or whatever. Look, like I said, I believe that the president should have his day in court. If somebody's messing with him, he deserves due process. However, I don't believe it's fair that he can sue and not be sued. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it, but he's in a different position, and we keep trying to include him in stuff that everybody else can do, but then disclude him when it comes to the punishment for everything everybody else can do. When I come and if I say I think he's a pedophile, does that mean I'm defaming him when I've got all of this evidence around that I believe?
Well, if you call Trump a pedo and he sues you, then he opens himself up for disclosure. I mean, have you heard about Afro Man? Did you hear what happened with that? Yeah. So it's fucking hilarious, especially Lick 'em Low Lisa. But the thing about it is, once you sue, you open yourself up for that. So if somebody called Trump a pedo and he's sued on the grounds of defamation or said they were lying about him, then to defend themselves, they get to present all of this shit that's orbiting around him. And now he is on. That's why you've noticed he ain't sued nobody for saying that stuff. He ain't going after nobody for that because you don't want the discovery to take place.
But then he's going after people talking about the news station doctored a video, the interview when all of his are doctored. He even tells them like, "Don't put that part in there, cut that out."
That's your president.
But they're so scared that they like, we'll pay him $10 million to get him off our back and go about our business. But it's still not. It's still not right.
Well, who knows? Maybe after he's gone, you may have some folks suing, suggesting that they made deals under duress. We'll see how that goes. I mean, if you get a friendlier administration in there, I mean, let's be clear. You and I aren't the only ones that believe that Trump is getting people to settle just because they're scared of him. So, I mean, my guess is you probably got a few judges out there that think the same way.
Oh, I'm sure. And the last thing I'll say before I go, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the companies that they've been hiring to build these immigrant facilities like Alligator, Alcatraz,
right?
And stuff, those contractors have said that the federal government was telling them when they get those contracts that they have to pay Lewandowski. Lewandowski, the one who, they said they was being encouraged to give him a success fee when they got their contract.
So basically a kickback.
Yes. To Lewandowski directly because,
well, some of the. I mean, when you look at all of the contracts that Barron, his son, is getting, some of this stuff is out in the open. In my opinion, I think they're feeling so emboldened. They're not even trying to take the back channels like most politicians and hide this shit. I mean, it's just, what can they do about it? It's kind of one of those things I think is going on because it's kind of out in the open, but. A lot of folks still are suggesting that Trump is the best president we ever had, didn't Cal? So we'll talk about it. I got to move it on, but man, I mean, there's a lot going on here, man. There's a lot going on in our country, and you say a protracted, extended war.
That's slippery slope. We own it.
All right. Appreciate you coming through, man. Have a good weekend. Right. Thank you. Yep, so what up, folks? It is indeed your boy, Tim, the Handsome Liberal. Sometimes on Instagram, we do start out with a call. We didn't even go through the monologue, but let's make it happen. Happy Friday to all of you folks. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body. We are MAGA friendly. Always has been MAGA friendly from day one. Always will be MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. And there are some Q that comes through the program. So understand that. But anyway, let's get into the show. Lots going on today. By the way, when I was talking to my last call, I wanted to play this clip because it was in reference to something he was saying.
Tell him the story. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. President. Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis. And I mentioned it to the president, and I said, Congressman Dunn is a real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work. And if others got this diagnosis, they would be apt to go home and retire. And
what was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay, that's.
Now you hear the audience; they don't clap or applaud. That you can hear them saying, "Oh, I mean, he didn't want to reveal this man's health condition, but there's more to it." You can clearly see Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was trying to protect this man's privacy. But I want you to hear it again, hear a little bit more that was added onto that.
Had a pretty grim diagnosis, and I mentioned it to the president, and I said, Congressman Dunn is a real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work. And if others got this diagnosis, they would be apt to go home and retire. And
what was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay, that's, it was grim. That's what I was going to say. I don't think
with a heart problem, by the way. This was a heart problem.
So the long story short, the president called him.
He's actually laughing. I mean, he's telling the man's. I wish I could blow this one up. Some of you probably have already seen this. I can't blow this one up on the screen as big, but I mean, you can see him. His face there is all smiles. Let me see if I can't fucking blow it up. Here we go. Look at that. He is cheesing his ass off while revealing that this man was mortally ill. He's smiling about this, and then he pats Speaker of the House Mike Johnson on the back while clearly revealing the health issues of this guy. But you hear Mike Johnson say the guy was, gravely ill, whatever the case may be. But he don't want to tell you exactly what's going on. And then Trump just jumps in and says, he was about to die. And then he said, well, what was wrong with him? And once again, Mike Johnson is trying his best not to tell people exactly what was wrong with him. And Trump then goes on and reveals that as well.
Real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work. And if others got this diagnosis, they would be apt to go home and retire. And
what was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay, that's, it was grim. That's what I was going to say. I don't think
with a heart problem, by the way. This was a heart problem.
So the long story short, the president called him to encourage him and thank him, and they had a conversation, and the president mentioned in the course of the conversation, I ought to get my doctors involved, and they did, and within a number of hours, they took him to Walter Reed Emergency Surgery. The man has a new lease on life. He acts like he's 30 years younger, and he walked into the conference meeting, and we thought we'd seen a ghost.
Mike called me, and he said, sir, we're up by 3, but we're going to lose 1 by June. Said, who? Neil Dunn. He's a great congressman. Incredible. He called to say that he was terminal, really bad heart.
And of course, Trump is taking credit for referring him to doctors that saved the guy's life, it sounds like, which is a good thing. But clearly, the guy did not want to reveal what he went through. I mean, his constituents would probably want to know if the person they voted in office is. Remember Biden? Allegedly having dementia and not being there, or Feinstein, or what is the guy down in Kentucky right now? I can't think of his name right now. That's Mitch McConnell. You want to be, you're not being honest with your constituents about being ill. Trump is breaking news that these folks did not know. So that might affect this guy going forward in terms of his political career. Now that Trump done told folks that he was gravely ill when he obviously didn't want that to be let out himself. But think about that. Think about that. So in the future, when other politicians in Trump's inner circle, if they want to hide an illness or something like that, you can't be sure if you tell Trump whether he's going to keep it hidden or not. But there is some breaking news I want to talk to you folks about. This broke very close to the time we just came on air, and this broke not long or not much. This is very new news. In fact, I could only find one article because this is only probably an hour or 2 old.
Reportedly looking into potential ties between drug traffickers and Colombian President Gustavo Petro.
The investigation marks a major escalation in tensions between the U.S. and the South American leader. Local Times' Ross Ketchke is live in Washington with what we're learning. Ross?
Well, good evening, guys. Tonight, we are also learning that DEA has designated the Colombian president as a person of interest, as a potential target, a label that is normally designated for those who are considered to be of substantial importance to the international drug trade. And all of this comes after months of rocky relationships between Petro and President Donald Trump.
We had a very good meeting. I thought he was terrific.
I'm not going to play the whole video, but just to short things out, the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, we're now targeting the president of Colombia. Remember when Venezuela and those drug boats were getting bombed? The president of Colombia and Trump had some words back and forth because Colombia not only did they not favor us bombing those boats, they claimed one or two of them were Colombian citizens. And Trump made it clear, if you don't shut up, you could be next. And I'm almost quoting him. He didn't say those exact words, if you don't shut up, you could be next. But I believe he absolutely did use the phrase, you could be next. He absolutely did that. So now they're talking about potentially going down and arresting the president of Colombia. So, we took out Maduro late last year of Venezuela. Colombia borders Venezuela. So that just came in. That's breaking news. So I don't know how do you do that? Do you send in, another Delta Force team or something like that and grab him in the middle of the night as well? In addition to that, there's a lot here. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick, but there's a lot going on here. In addition to that, because this is in that we're not even in Iran yet. We're in a different region. We're still down in the Caribbean.
Continues. The communist government, their struggles to deal with an island-wide blackout and also a collapsing economy. And back here at home, President Trump, in his own words, saying that he would have the honor of taking Cuba. For more on this, let's go out right now to Miami, Florida. That is where we find Fox News' Amy Gallo joining us here. And Amy, what is the reaction from Cubans out in Florida?
Well, Mike, I'll tell you, I spent the morning at Domino Park, and that's in the middle of Little Havana. And that's where I spoke with a lot of people who fled the communist regime in Cuba.
And I'm not going to go too deep in it, but obviously, and there's a humanitarian crisis going on in Cuba. The island is, I think it's like 10 million, completely dark. So they have no refrigeration. They have no air conditioning. I'm just going to tell you, regardless of how you feel about what's going on in Cuba, he's killing people. If you blackened America, where there was no power in America for an extended period of time, people are going to die behind that. All your medical machines, medical equipment in hospitals, none of that works. This is killing people. There's no denying this. What we're doing right now in Cuba is killing people. They've been having power issues ever since we invaded Venezuela because we've blocked energy from coming to their country. So understand, regardless if you think the Cuban government is a bad regime or not, and there's a good argument to be made that the Castros in Cuba are not the best leadership. But right now, this is killing people. This has created a humanitarian crisis in Cuba. You're not hearing about it in the United States for obvious reasons. We don't want to talk about this, but we are killing people in Cuba as we speak. Now, before I go back to the comments, here's something that I think we all will eventually care about.
Saudi Arabia is now warning of a potential extreme oil price spike. According to a Wall Street Journal report, projections are now of crude touching $180 per barrel if the current supply disruption extend into late April.
And this is also news that is coming in a mid-afternoon, so I couldn't find. I was trying to find something that sounded a little bit more pleasing to the ear than this Indian guy. But Saudi Arabia is warning that if the Strait of Hormuz doesn't open soon, the price of fuel could go up. Price of oil could go up to $180 a barrel. I don't know if I've ever heard oil costing. Usually $100 a barrel means things are starting to get high. 180. I've never heard oil at 180 a barrel. Maybe somebody can tell me if that has happened before, but they expect a very good chance that the average price of gas in the United States could cross the $4 mark before Monday. So this is the world we live in. And last but not least, this is the last one, and I'll start taking calls. Tap the screen, get the likes on it. We're almost at 20,000. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. And you know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor. I need the algorithm assistance. So if you're watching us on YouTube, happy Friday, smash that like button. Last but not least, straight out of Fox News.
Trump posting on Truth Social minutes ago, calling on allies to step up as the regime steps up attacks on oil and gas facilities across the Gulf region. President writing this: without the USA, NATO is a paper tiger. They didn't want to join the fight to stop a nuclear-powered Iran. Now that fight is militarily won with very little danger for them. They complain about high oil prices they're forced to pay, but don't want to help open the Strait of Hormuz, a simple military maneuver that is the single reason for the high oil prices. So easy for them to do with so little risk. Cowards. And we will remember. Yikes. Steve Harris.
Why the hell does he keep doing this? You started out the war or excursion or conflict in Iran saying we could do it by ourselves. Then the UK offered to send ships and you said we don't need them. You're too late to the party trying to join a war that's already won. Then he came forward and asked a host of nations, South Korea, China, France, the UK, all to send ships to help us maintain the Strait of Hormuz being open. Then later that, within 24 to 48 hours, he came back forward again and said, no, we can actually do this. We don't really need anybody, when he found out nobody was going to cooperate. This message here came in today, this afternoon. So now he's asking him again, what the hell's going on? It sounds like a bad version of a Katy Perry song. You're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no. You're in, then you're... What? Do we need help or do we not? He said probably about 3 times, we can do it on our own. And he's also asked for help about 3 different times. Do we need help to keep the Strait of Hormuz open? Or can we do it on our own? Now you're calling them cowards when you just told them the other day you don't need anybody. So going straight to the comment section, I don't get it. Somebody help me out. Coward says draft dodger. Yikes. How Trump want to How Trump want to win Ukraine, including everybody. I don't quite get what you're saying to President Trump. And cabinet members, I express my sincere gratitude for the success of the Japanese-U.S. summit and for your warm hospitality. What was the success? He had a friendly conversation with the Prime Minister of Japan, but what are you gauging success on? Because Trump has said he's had friendly conversations with a host of people. What do you mean success? What came out of it to suggest it was a success? Let me go straight to the box. We'll start out with MAGA Reacts. Do we need help on this or not?
I don't think we do, but it would be nice if it was a multi-nation force.
Do you think that he is talking to those folks in a way that's conducive to incentivize them to help?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I've never been in favor of how aggressive he's been.
You sounded kind of down, MAGA. Normally you're pretty energetic in supporting Trump. You sounded like a liberal down there.
That's because I got on here pretty early. Usually I've listened to like an hour or 2 of all these other dumbasses.
I can drop you and come back. You want me to drop you and come back?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I just want to correct a few things. One,
Sure.
You can sue the president. It's hard to do, but you could do it. I mean, E. Jean Carroll sued him last time while he was still president. I mean, that's one of the reasons he completely ignored her. And
so basically, if you sue the president, because they got so much going on, they can drag shit out indefinitely, which kind of makes it sound like you're really not even suing them.
I mean, you could do that either way. Like, that's how most law.
Well, no, because if you're a citizen, a judge can deny things that you want to drag out. But if you're president, they really can't stop you. You can drag that shit out your whole presidency. So it's really kind of a waste of time in that case.
A lot of my cases get dragged out. Hell, I just did a continuance to yesterday. So
yeah, but you do get what I'm saying. Suing the president,
yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge.
But it's doable. And the fact that it gets dragged out, that's normal fucking lawfare.
Yeah, but as president, your ammunition to drag things out increases tenfold.
Well, obviously you couldn't do it in New York with E. Jean Carroll. They didn't give a fuck that he was president.
Well, that E. Jean Carroll stuff, but it didn't come to a head until he was a citizen. Had he still been president, E. Jean Carroll, that case would have still been going on.
Bro, most of that case happened while he was still president.
Okay, we can disagree on that, but fair enough.
What else did you say that was wrong? I forgot. Yeah, he saved the guy's life, and you're like, oh, I can't believe he said that he was about to die, and he saved his life.
Did he need to say that? Did he? Okay, look, if you saved my life,
yeah, to show like how good of a job he did. If I save someone's life, I'm telling every motherfucker out there that I saved this guy's life.
So if I'm dying of something, hold on.
And by changing his doctor, he saved his life.
Okay, fair enough. So if I'm dying of something that I don't want my constituents to know because maybe I want to run for re-election if I beat it, you're telling me if you save my you're telling me if you save my life, I therefore forfeit any privacy to my condition? You're going to just tell everybody, regardless if I want you to or not.
I mean, Trump's not a doctor, so he doesn't have.
That ain't what I'm. You're a friend. As a friend,
I guess.
Is that what you?
I doubt. Look, if he would have told Trump to keep it between them, maybe, but we don't even know if he said that.
If you break in the news, if I'm a congressman and you the first person to tell everybody I was about to die, did I need to tell you I wanted to keep it hidden? The fact that ain't nobody knows should tell you. I mean, catch it, common sense. Where's the common sense?
But he's healthy. He's not about to die. He's healthy. And also, this was heart failure. This wasn't brain failure. With Trump, with Biden, it was brain failure. That's why we gave a fuck about Biden. If Biden was having heart failure, I guess because it's a president, we still would care. But there's a huge difference between your brain not working and your heart not working.
I'm trying to figure out, why wouldn't it ring some sort of bell with you or with Trump or whoever? If this man hasn't told people that he was close to death and dealing with a heart issue, why should you break the news first? I mean, he got thousands of constituents, maybe hundreds of thousands. He hasn't told anybody yet. That should have a eureka light go on in your head. Maybe he don't want people to know.
Listen, I doubt Trump thought about it that much.
I agree with that part.
If you want to keep a secret, don't tell fucking Trump. That's for sure.
Okay. So I think
you guys keep saying he's this big liar, but he's a fucking open book when it comes to a lot of things.
Well, he did say Iran bombed their own school, MAGA reacts. I mean, he
he does lie, but he also, you can tell he's fucking lying. It's not like he's keeping big secrets from us.
Okay, help me out, because
I'd rather be able to tell than have a good liar in the fucking White House.
Okay. Well, I want you to educate me, because I'm gonna plead ignorance on this. I want you to let me know, how do you know when Trump is lying? You said you can tell that. How do you know that?
You could tell. I mean, using context clues and nuance, and using just being a human being for fucking 40 years. I'm pretty good at telling when people are lying. Using common knowledge, using clues, facts. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you?
I want you to tell me something. I want you to tell me something. That was a bunch of
when he's lying.
That's a bunch of gibberish. Give me something that, okay.
Gibberish. It's common sense, but you guys want to win the little debate, the online debate, so you guys make it sound like it's gibberish. But
okay, let me ask it to you this way. Let me ask it to you this way. I'm about to go into, let's say I'm talking to you. I'm about to go in and have a meeting with this guy. I'm going to go in and have a meeting with President Trump. And I really need to know when he's lying. Now, I've been told that you can tell when he's lying. What should I look out for? Your turn.
I don't know. It depends on the context, what he's talking about, the context clues. Depends on what's going on. Whether it benefits him or it doesn't benefit him to lie. Whether it hurts the situation. Like if lying will make things worse or will it help the situation. Because sometimes you need to lie to someone, telling them they're going to be okay, even though they're about to die.
Really? Why would you need to lie?
Sometimes you need like a positive attitude, because you can't have negative attitude all the time.
Why would the president, who, by the way, everybody says he calls it like he sees it, and he's a straight shooter, and here you are telling me he'll tell a dying patient that they're about to live, so that's obviously not calling it as he sees it.
They're gonna be okay, you gotta comfort the dying, man.
So tell the dying a lie, just so they'll die in comfort.
Look, sometimes just being positive and telling certain lies helps the situation.
You know what this sounds like?
Okay, and if you end up saving their lives, great. I mean, if it makes no difference for them to know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, if they're dying,
wait, hold on. You don't know. They may want to get their affairs right with their children. They may have insurance and will issues. Why would you lie to a grown ass man or a woman? You know what you sound like? Hold on. Hang on. You sound like COVID will be gone by April. That's what you sound like.
That's actually what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about.
And that
him reducing panic was more important. If he would have said we're all gonna die and to fucking get your affairs in order because CV-19 is gonna kill us all, that would be fucked up and that would cause panic. Sometimes reducing panic is more important than telling the truth.
So you believe him lying about COVID to keep down panic based on no factual information whatsoever was the better thing to do?
No, but there's no contradictory information whatsoever at the time. It's not like he had a thing on his thing that says COVID's gonna be around forever.
It's based on okay. When he said COVID,
we didn't know either way. So he wasn't lying. He wasn't telling the truth. He was just guessing, like everybody else was guessing at the time.
We got a pandemic going on, and you're just going to guess and tell people positive stuff that is based on nothing.
Yeah, so they don't fucking buy out all the toilet paper when they don't need to buy out the toilet paper. You don't want them overwhelming the system because of panic. You want them to buy just enough toilet paper so there's time to buy more to get us more toilet paper. But if they buy out all the toilet paper, then there's going to be a shortage for a while until the new toilet paper arrives. And the same thing with masks, the same thing with gloves. I mean, even Fauci lied about fucking masks and gloves to get people.
So what happens? Okay, so
for the hospitals.
So if you tell people COVID will be gone by April, and all of a sudden you get calm, as you say, because people think it's about to go away. So what happens in May? What do you tell them in May when it turns out you were completely? Not only is it not gone, it's worse than it was when you said. So what do you tell them now?
Just a little bit longer. We'll get there. Just a little bit longer. You don't want people to panic. I don't know why you Democrats want to all cause panic and,
You
want people to go looting and burn down cities and shit because they're panic thinking it's the end of the world?
Just a little bit longer. You know what this sounds like, though, MAGA? The war will be over. The war will be over in a few days. The war will be over in a few weeks. Why is it? Well, just a little bit longer. It'll be over. You actually really do know Trump. You're kind of calling out what you're saying is exactly like he said. None of it's true, which you're readily admitting.
I don't always agree with it, but I understand what he's doing.
How? How do you understand? You're lying to your constituents, giving them false hope, and then when the false hope is proven to be wrong, you then lie again and give them more false hope. How is that a good thing to do?
If the false hope is for their own good, it's a good thing. If you're lying to them just to lie to them because you're trying to steal all their money or some shit, that's bad. But if you're trying to stop them from panicking so they don't fucking fuck up the supply of toilet paper and whatever, because at a certain point they only wanted people who were really sick to do COVID tests. So if you don't want them to overwhelm the COVID tests, if you don't want them to just panic and do all this shit, it's for a good reason. But if you're doing it just to hog all the money or test or toilet paper to yourself, then you're a fucking bastard. But if you're doing it for their own good, then you're being a president, that you're being a leader.
No, here's where you confuse me. Based on what you're saying, it would lead one to wonder during any type of disparity or despair or disaster. Why would you trust this guy? I mean, if he's known to lie and make things sound better than what they are during times of disaster or during times of despair, how can you trust whatever he's sending you?
Well, that's the other thing. You could trust things that happened in the past, but
current.
Anyone trying to predict the future.
Yeah, we're not talking about in the past.
You shouldn't trust any of these people trying to predict the future.
Yeah, but we're not talking about in the past.
Oil hitting 180.
We're not talking about in the past. We're talking about, for instance, oil hitting 180 or the Iran war ending.
Exactly. You should never trust someone predicting the future. And what was Trump doing back then? He was trying to predict the future.
So when Trump
Unless
says
got a
he's
time
not,
machine,
wait. So right now, he's saying this war is going to be over with rather quickly. Should you trust that?
I mean, you should hope for it. But
That ain't what I asked you. You're not Jesse Jackson keeping hope alive. What should you trust him?
What do you mean? He can't tell the future. I mean, I trust that he's trying to end the war as quickly as possible. So I trust in him doing that. If there's a way out or there's a way to end it, he's going to take it. But he can't tell the future.
No.
So beyond that, he's not, unless he's got a time machine, you can't trust anyone predicting the future.
So in other words, if his advisors have already told him there's no way this is not going to end for at least 6 months or more, and it's going to cause gas to go up to at least an average of $7 a gallon, which is something that could lead to American panic in stock market and all. So basically, you would assume to prevent Americans from panicking, he's going to lie and give us some calmer news then, right?
Yeah, but it's just as possible for him to end this war quickly, or at least he doesn't even have to end the war. All he has to do is secure that corner of the Strait of Hormuz. So all he has to do is secure the Strait of Hormuz. And like I told you on day one, I trust in the U.S. military, not in Trump, but in the U.S. military to secure a little corner of water.
Yeah, but MAGA, you are now admitting though that if he receives really bad news or bad forecasts from our military advisors, he's going to come back with calm information that's probably not accurate, which is why I asked you in the beginning, how can we trust what he's telling us about the war? You're admitting he might lie about it.
Of course he might lie about it. It's fucking war. He shouldn't be announcing what's happening to everybody. He just should be battling the war. You don't want to kill the morale of your soldiers. You're going to lose the war before it even happens. You can't go around telling everybody, oh, this is going to be a fucked up war where everything's going to go wrong and just prepare for everything to be fucked up. You're just going to end up like no morale. You're going to have no support. And even if you could win the war, you're going to end up losing it because everybody's fucking depressed and thinking this is going to go to hell.
I get your point about trying to maintain morale, but what happens when you become known as a known liar? Okay, like I said, we'll be out of here and you'll be back home with your family by April. Then April comes in. Hang on. Then April comes and you find out you got to be for another few months. And then all of a sudden June comes. At what point do you lie enough where morale becomes, we don't trust this motherfucker? So morale drops because they don't trust what they're being told.
Well, that's between him and the soldiers. I mean, well, it's between him and us too because of the oil prices. But let's look like this. How about we give him more than 2 weeks? Because it's only been 2-3 weeks. I mean, you guys act like it's been 2 years and he's been lying to us for 2 years. Yeah, if he keeps lying and he keeps being proven wrong, then yeah, you should fucking tell him he's a fucking the worst president ever.
Well, let's be clear. The reason people
keeps lying and keeps coming short, then yeah, he's the worst president ever, and get rid of him.
Well, let's be clear. People are only giving him a short period of time because that's all he asked. If you say you can end the war in 24 hours and it's only been 2 years, why are you sweating me? You said 24 hours. Nobody made him put a time frame on success. I mean, most politicians are smart enough to say, listen, this one probably won't be a big deal. We're going to work on it and get it done as expeditiously as possible. You don't get up there and say 24 hours. He's the one that did that.
Okay, but that's before. That's campaigning. We're talking about right now as president, and there is a timeline. It's called the midterms. He has to clean this shit up by midterms. So by midterms, two things are going to happen. He's either going to fail miserably and he's going to probably lose the House and Senate and be impeached, or he's going to solve Cuba, solve Venezuela, solve Iran, which have been big problems for us for fucking 20 to 60 years. If he fucking finally solves the Cuban problem and gets a good government in Cuba, and so far people of Venezuela seem to be happy with the situation now. People there are saying it's getting better.
Here's what I don't get, MAGA.
If things get better under him in the next couple of months, good for him. If they don't, he's gonna lose the midterm and get impeached again.
Yeah, here's what I don't get. Okay, we see what he's doing to Iran to get things under control in Iran. A lot of innocent casualties. We can talk about the girls at the school. Cuba has been completely in the dark for several days, if not a couple of weeks now, because they're not getting energy because we embargoed Venezuela. I don't see why the United States.
For 60 years.
No, they haven't been 24 hours a day dark. That is not true. What's happening right now is way worse than whatever they were dealing with before Trump became president. I'm not saying Cuba wasn't impoverished. By the way, that also is our fault too from previous presidents blockading the country. But what Trump has did is astronomically worse. The point I'm asking is this: why does America think that once this stuff is over with, these countries are going to like us? We are killing people in these countries.
I guarantee all these countries are going to be better off. I mean, even the disaster that's Iraq is better off today. The only country that's not better off is Afghanistan.
Do they like us in Iraq?
I'm sure they do.
You would take your family on a vacation. You would take your family on a Baghdad vacation.
I mean, there's nothing to see there, but
why
not?
There's going to be natural historical sites to see there. Would you go there?
I would go to Iran after this. If they solve Iran, if they do the
why not Baghdad? Why not Baghdad? Why not Baghdad?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with all the tourist sites. I'm from the Middle East. I'll visit all those places.
Okay. All right.
I'm not afraid of being in the Middle East. That's you got the wrong person for that.
I think
I've never thought about it.
I bet you if you went to the Middle East, you'd be representing Egypt. You wouldn't be fucking representing the United States. Then that's why you're not afraid to go, because you're not going to tell them you came here. You're going to put that blue passport away.
If I meet some hot girls, I
ain't no way in hell you gonna walk down the streets of Baghdad talking about you an American. I bet you ain't doing no shit like that. You gonna be talking about I'm Egypt. You gonna go over there with an Egyptian flag and all that shit. Quit playing.
We'll see. I can't hide that I'm American, man. As good as my Arabic, my Arabic is shitty. I speak the Arabic of like an 8-year-old.
Well, you can claim you're from somewhere else.
They don't even speak Arabic.
Okay,
so.
Then say you went to a different country. You just didn't go to America. You're not going to claim USA on the streets of Baghdad. That's not going to happen. And you're not going to do it in Iran either. You wouldn't go to Tehran after this shit is over. Wouldn't do it there either. We're not looking good in these countries. You wouldn't even do it in Havana. I mean, yeah.
No, I think I would do it in Iraq.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I would do it in Iraq. I don't know why I wouldn't do it in Iraq. I've had, like my uncle, he was an interpreter in Iraq for like 2-3 years. He loved it. He made a bunch of money and came back.
Our State Department has made it clear Americans should not be in Iraq because of what's going on with Iran. And I don't see Iran being any better.
The Iranians and their proxies, not because of the Iraqi people.
Okay. There's no way I'm fucking with it. I got to move it on, though, man.
Hey, but one last thing.
Real quick.
If he succeeds, he's going to be the greatest president ever. Because these are 60-year problems. Iran's been a problem for 60 years. Venezuela's been a problem
for 20 years. What is success, though? I mean,
Cuba has been a problem for 60 years.
Yeah, but what is success? I mean, did we succeed in Iraq? Bush ain't the best president.
Yeah. I mean, Iraq was painful and it sucked, but in the end, we ended up succeeding. But if we could repeat Iraq without spending $20 trillion and losing like all those people, if you could avoid the loss of people and $20 trillion and get the same results, that would be great.
What are the results?
People like their government.
What are the results? What were the results in Iraq that we want to seek again? I mean, what did we do that was so successful there?
Normal Iraqi people own and run Iraq right now. We have no issue with Iraq.
So we're gonna spend hundreds of billions of dollars so that the Iranian citizens can live better, but we're against tuition and healthcare for our own. We're gonna take our money. We're gonna take our money and spend it overseas to make their lives better and do not a damn thing for ourselves.
Make oil cheaper, which is gonna make Russia cheaper. That's another thing. I know Russia's happy right now. But if we fix Iran and secure the Strait of Hormuz, it's going to make oil cheaper for the entire world, which is going to, in the end, in the long term, make Russia weaker. And
before we attacked Iraq, the price of gas under Trump was like $2.20. According to him at the State of the Union address about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he said it was $2.20, but it was low. It wasn't quite that low, but it was fairly manageable. You're saying that after we're done with Iran, the price of gas is going to be less than $2.20 a gallon?
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I think you're kidding me. I gotta go.
I mean, once the Iranian oil gets added to the normal market, right now it's a part of the black market. Once it's added to the normal market, it's just going to bring oil prices all the way down.
All right, I'll leave it at that. Thank you, MAGA Reacts. Appreciate it. And I don't believe that because I don't think Iran is ever going to be favorable to us. The only way what he is saying is going to happen is we're going to have to occupy Iran and make sure their oil is being put into the market like that. Not to mention Benjamin Netanyahu is blowing the shit up. It might not even be operable for all of that to happen. Anyway, looking in the comments, Forever C10, thank you for your support, says, man, they were suggesting that you let your elderly parents and grandparents die because hospitals were overrun with sick people. It had gotten out of control to that point. Now, he's talking about during the pandemic. Yes. And as I was going back and forth with my last caller, if our president will readily just tell you anything to keep the peace during disasters, then that means his information is not reliable. I mean, that's simple as that. That means during any type of major issue, major concern, war or illness and things like that means his information is not reliable. He's always going to just tell you the bright side of everything. Now, remember, this is what, according to what my last caller said, I don't know if Trump is doing that, but there is evidence to suggest that that is exactly what he does, is he hypes up situations. Remember, we were going to acquire Greenland. All of a sudden, NATO member nations started sending troops to Greenland, making it clear that NATO was willing to fight us to prevent us from taking Greenland. Trump backed down and announced that we had made a great deal with Greenland. Has anybody heard any of the parameters of that deal? Have you heard anything else about that great deal with Greenland? What did America get out of it? How long does it last? When is the beginning and end? Nothing whatsoever. So yeah, he is going to hype up certain situations to make them appear more positive than they are. My guess is he didn't expect all of NATO to stand up for a country with only 50-some thousand people. And when they did, he just backed down. There is no deal with Greenland. If it was that great, he'd be bragging about it. Him or Rubio or Hegseth, one of them would be, all his accomplishments, he brag about constantly. You made a great deal and you're not going to tell us about it? That ain't how Trump operates. In the comments, though, Evil B by Boo says, MAGA Reacts is definitely an 8-year-old child, Tim. Damn, that's my last caller. Says, please feed him his juice and crackers because he doesn't know what he's talking about. I was an 8-year-old child once. I don't think I drank juice. I love my crackers, though. Let me go back to the box. Juice and crackers, huh? Handsome, Mike DeBalls. We got cut off yesterday. Was it right?
Yeah, we got cut off.
Yeah,
right
my internet dropped. My internet dropped.
Yeah, man, would you get never mind? I'm not gonna say nothing. I know you got good service.
Shit, I specifically bought. They were drilling in the area. I got better than average internet. But anyway, the good guys.
Listen,
the good guys.
Tap the screen, share the live. 186 people. Listen, let's get Tim up to 160.
And while you're doing that, help your boy out with the TikTok cap and hat mustache go. I haven't done it. Marty Marr, appreciate that. Help your boy out with the hat mustache TikTok cap go. Thank you for supporting the program. So are we still the good guys? Mike, what say you?
Absolutely not. We're not the good guys. Before we got cut off yesterday, I was reading polls. I was reading you approval ratings from our allies, right? When we got cut off yesterday.
Yeah.
I was reading our approval ratings with our allies or below 40% and some as low as 18%. Like Germany's is 18% approval of the Trump administration. Okay, so
let me ask you something. Do you believe when you talk about the approval ratings, and I agree that because I hear from people in Europe, I got friends that live in Australia, they don't have a good opinion right now, but it's generally conversations involving Trump. Do you believe, the question I'm asking is, do you believe our European allies, and Australia and Canada could be thrown in that as well, do they separate Trump from how they feel about America? In other words, what do you think about the U.S.? Do they have maybe an opinion of Trump that's not necessarily reflective of what their opinion is of America, or do they group it up all as the same now?
I've heard a little of both because you got to understand, like MAGA and Trump likes to brag, we voted him in, us as Americans, so we have to take accountability for our president, unfortunately. Now, I will say this, even the Iranian leadership and comments and quotes that they posted, although they're like, look, you know, they're more pissed off about the leadership. But unfortunately, Americans across the globe are going to be targeted and be impacted.
Yeah. Well, what about MAGA Reacts? He said he'd walk down the streets of Baghdad.
Well, listen, MAGA Reacts is full of, well, he's always been full of shit. Listen, he can't walk down his own street right here in America.
Why do you say that?
Because he's full of shit. He doesn't have any fucking friends. He's a victim. He's a target.
I don't know that. I can't speak on it. I don't know if the man doesn't have friends.
I know you can't, but you can smell it. You know what it smells like.
Oh my God.
You know what it smells like. But Tim, think about what's happened in the last 4 years. So a lot of people, when they bomb those gas fields over there, all of the natural gas that we just lost, 20%.
You talking about in what was it, Qatar or Qatar? Where was that base at? Because
it was in Qatar.
Yeah, man.
It was in Qatar. So we're going to have to deal with that. Well, the world's going to have to deal with that. And what is the world going to do with that? I mean, see, here's the problem with these people. They don't understand. This is how Trump handled his businesses. He ran them into. I told you that he runs them into the ground. He fleeces them for everything they have, and he files bankruptcy.
That's an interesting point. Now, I don't know Trump's business acumen personally, but it is believed that he ran businesses into the ground as long as he was continuing to acquire wealth, which is what happened. I mean, he's had a lot of bankruptcies, but his money has continued to grow, which is why I say, look, he's a successful businessman. His money kept growing. Well, as president, even though the economy and things like that in this country are not going in a positive direction, his wealth is continuing to grow. So yeah, there could be some accuracy to what you're saying because he's getting significantly wealthier while you and I may actually be getting poorer to some degree when you think about the cost of energy and the cost of groceries and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, and I want everybody to think about this. So they submitted $900 billion to the defense budget, right? They got an additional $900 billion, right? Did you see the CBO report? Did you see the CBO report?
No. I know they're requesting $200 billion more for this war that's supposed to end in a few days.
Correct. $200 billion more. However, the CBO, and I'll pull it up if you don't want to pull it up, the CBO said this amount of spending in loans is not sustainable. Did you know that this government, this administration, has been borrowing $50 billion a week for the past 5 months?
No, it was not. Well, it's not like they're going to tell you that.
Okay, so they've been borrowing $50 billion a week. This is a CBO. This is not me. You guys can just Google this and look this up, or I can put it on my screen. They said it. So that's $1 trillion that they've been borrowing from the CBO, $1 billion.
Well, I suppose when you take into consideration the cost of our, equipment and our weaponry we have in the military, and the fact that Trump has almost been at war the whole time he's been president this time. I mean, we've attacked 8-9 countries. I mean, we have literally been using expensive ordnance on countries for 1.5 years already now. All that air stuff. I mean, and troops on the ground are a lot cheaper than what we're doing right now. So it's believable just because and he's already talking about Cuba. Now we've talked about Colombia. I mean, he's continuing to do this.
Well, and let's be clear. That number that I just gave you is outside of the money that they.
So where the money going in?
You tell me where the money's going. Here's what we do know. We do know that there was a shell company that Christie set up that had $120 million dropped into it 7 days after it was formed. We do know that. We do know that Pete Hegseth has been spending money on lobsters and crabs and bullshit. We do know that as well.
Well, Hegseth, the claim is that the lobster and stuff went to our troops.
Again, I know that's what he's saying, but if that's the case, so you're using taxpayers' money for that. But again, set that aside. But at the same time, you're cutting benefits out of SNAP. You're cutting benefits out of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
You're cutting. I mean, think about what we're talking about. You're taking all that money, but when you first got in, you cut budget, you cut dollars.
Well, listen, you know the right is no fan of any entitlement or social program. So yeah, they're gonna cut SNAP and all of that. I mean, they would rather, welfare programs not exist at all. I mean, the only thing that's keeping that stuff going is probably the left side of the aisle. If it was an all conservative country, you would have to go to church and use charities to get help. There would not be any government entitlement programs at all.
I don't disagree with you, but while they simultaneously sit here and blame the Democrats for not having TSA and you got 2-hour waits at airports right now just to get through security. But you asked for $200 billion because you said it takes a lot of money to unalive people.
Yeah, that's what Hegseth said. It costs a lot of money to kill people. Yeah, I mean,
right.
Shit.
But think about the arrogance though. Steak and lobster for your troops, but then you were just complaining about the prices of eggs, and the common American can barely afford to live. Isn't this what they said?
Let me just say this. I don't mind those fighting for our freedom to have a good meal. I'm okay with that. What I don't like is using them when they're not necessary and then having to feed them steak and lobster to increase their morale. I don't believe that every conflict Trump has gotten us in has been necessary or beneficial to the United States. Now, like what MAGA Reacts is saying, if Iran turns out to be some kind of success, it'll be a plus on Trump's record. But I don't know how Iran turns out to be any sort of success that down the line is going to be a great benefit to the average American citizen. We're going to spend billions of dollars doing this, and what do you do? You save 10 cents a gallon? I mean, I don't see it.
Well, there is no path, and I know MAGA Reacts and straight talk bullshit commerce think that there's a path, but here's when I say there's no path, because Donald Trump says he has no exit strategy. Donald Trump says, now this is directly from him, Tim. He doesn't have an exit strategy. He doesn't believe in exit strategies. I don't know if you heard him say that.
I didn't hear him say that, but I did hear him say when he feels it in his bones. Look, and that's what I believe is going to happen is that, I mean, seriously, my analysis, and none of us know, but my speculatory analysis is that it's going to start costing us a fortune. More and more people are going to start complaining. And at that point, we've taken everything out. We've set their leadership back 3 or 4 levels. They can't develop a nuke. I feel like it's over with. We're leaving now. And that's what's going to happen. We're not going to get regime change that, as Trump said, we want to be involved in who they put in there. We're not going to get that. And I mean, we're going to keep this going until it becomes incredibly unpopular. And it'll be just like with the Taliban in Afghanistan. We'll just make up an excuse to leave.
And what's so funny? I can't even push back on that premise because I actually believe the same thing. I believe that, first of all, everybody needs to be clear. There is no good exit strategy in terms of calling it success. He'll call it a success, but there are no. And I know tomorrow there are a lot of troops leaving here from California headed over there. You've got more headed over there. I mean, I don't know if you knew that.
Dencal was on early and he indicated something similar. So with so many troops heading to the region and Trump at the same time adamant that there will be no boots on the ground, what say you?
There's no reason for them to be over there if they're not going to end up putting them on the ground. But here's the thing, though, Tim. Here's the thing. We have to. Sometimes we talk past and we allow some of these things because Trump lies and he talks so much shit. So we allow it to go unchecked. This man just called our allies cowards. Yeah. And then turned around and says we really need their help. Did you see that?
Did you see the Stephen A. Smith clip I played yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
That's exactly what it is you can't keep talking to people like shit and then expecting them to come to your aid when you call. I mean, he said a lot of really, really bad stuff about Europe, NATO, and even the prime ministers and chancellors of those countries. Like, you said nothing good about NATO or any NATO member country whatsoever. They're not cowards. They're saying, fuck you. It ain't nothing to do with cowards. They're saying fuck you for how bad you treated them. I don't get that one.
Well, and again, this is, I told you this man was mediocre from the jump, and you said no.
Well, I don't think Trump is mediocre. I think
you can keep saying that.
Why do you say he's mediocre?
Because everything he executes on is shit, Tim. You keep uplifting this man like he has some level of success that you could lean into. Any success you say he has, you could come to the conclusion he lied, stealed, or cheated to get it, even if you call it a success, and his failures are well documented. Now, I know, Willie G, you're saying it's hate, but again, the man is a convicted felon. He has bankruptcies. He has all of these SMEX allegations. He is starting conflicts that were unwarranted. And where is he? And he's costing us money.
Let me ask you something about that. And before I ask you, Mike, and by the way, folks, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 65,000. We'll take the next call after Mike, but tap the screen. We need you to get the likes up. If you're watching us on YouTube, understand we're here most weekdays. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. You can be critical of anyone on the program, including yours truly, in a MAGA-friendly format. Real quick before we continue, Mike, Evil B. Babu says, I saw MAGA X walking down the street the other day with a bag of dicks, so Mike might be on to something.
I didn't say it.
So I want to ask you though, and thank you folks that helped your boy out with the hat and mustache and TikTok cap go. Appreciate it. You called him mediocre, and you bring up some of the things or conflicts he's gotten us into and controversial things he's done. Some of his detractors, whether we're talking Epstein, whether we're talking potential criminal charges in the future, et cetera, is it possible any of this, according to what his detractors say, could be literally a distraction from actual problems that he may face? Because nobody's talking about Epstein right now. That is not coming up because of Cuba, because of Iran, because of Venezuela. I mean, so just keep throwing shit in front and people will never discuss what's in the back. Is that possible?
Yes, that's possible too. I mean, listen, I keep telling you, people you can walk and chew gum at the same time, can't you, Tim? All of those things can be possible. And yet and still, listen, Tim, all those things can be possible, and yet still we're talking about a man that is president with the resume that no other person other than a white man that could get elected with. Period, full stop. You can't even, this isn't an even norm. And if anybody, I don't give a fuck what side of the aisle you're on, if you're saying that his resume is typical of a presidential candidate, you are blatantly lying. You remember Howard Dean got canceled for just yelling? Remember when he laughed? Remember when he was a presidential candidate for the Republicans? And we're going to take on this, and then he went, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. He was Democrat,
or whatever he was. But it ended right then, didn't it?
Yep, I remember.
It right then.
Yeah.
So I bring that up to say this country has always held a certain level of morality or decorum or presidential behavior in this country for that person, and they set it aside for racism. Let's be clear. They set it aside.
Hold on, I want you to hear this. This came from Trump. It says, we are very close to meeting our objectives. I wanted to read it. It was on the screen, but he is indicating, I'm watching News Nation, so he's indicating that the war is almost over because we're getting close to meeting our objectives. So he's still saying that. But go ahead. I'll try to rewind it and see if I can find it. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, I'm on Al Jazeera. I'm looking at that statement too.
Al Jazeera. Wow. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and I actually like reading it.
What are they showing shit that you're not hearing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured they would.
Yep, absolutely.
What about the death count? We lost 13 people so far. What are they saying?
I think theirs is still at 14, but I'm hearing otherwise, and I'm hearing different.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say about that statement. He said that this was over within the first hour. See, his supporters let him get away with these things. They never ever hold him accountable for. I'll get the conflict in Russia's ended even before I get
Well, listen, there are folks like I said to MAGA, and I say this to other like MAGA reaction. I think there's some folks out there that I refer to as MAGA whisperers, where Trump can say something and everybody sees it one way, but MAGA will be like, no, he didn't really mean that, or you should have knew that, or that's just, I mean, like what MAGA reaction was just saying. I think MAGA views Trump totally, well, that's just a joke, or you're taking that out of context. It's like they have a totally different way of interpreting things he says.
Well, and again, that's just, listen, I don't even give a fuck. I told you this before. I don't really give a fuck about them because you're not going to change their minds. You're not even going to you can't, listen, let's be honest. The conversations that you have with them are you should say for entertainment purposes only, because they're not factual discussions. Let's be honest.
Well, but that, I mean, I like to hear all sides. I mean, liberals say shit that ain't correct too. So
I didn't say that. I agree with you. But by and large, what they're supporting. See, here's the difference. Democrats aren't in office right now.
True.
We would have to, if this was Biden, they would be listen, they held us accountable by the way Biden walked, and he was slow, and he's Sleepy Joe, and he's all these things, and all those tropes. They held us accountable to all of that. You know, libtards and all of the things, and snowflakes and all of those things. The minute you try to hold them accountable to something, they will move and squirm and never, ever, ever, ever have a coaching conversation.
Well, I can't believe MAGA reacts.
It's payday. It's payday.
Really?
It's payday.
MAGA. What did he say?
A lot of shit. I mean, we held you account for fucking Biden because he was literally mentally retarded. His brain was dying.
Well, but hold on, MAGA. You know you can't say that.
And then can you stop rooting for more Americans to die?
What do you mean? Wait.
Why didn't you wait for more to die so it can be proven correct?
What evidence you have? Wait, hold on. What evidence do you have that Biden's brain was dying?
He was fucking up before he got elected. We told you before he got elected that this man's brain is not the same.
Can you show us evidence of that?
Yeah,
hold on, Tim.
You can see him debating in
MAGA,
the Democrat debate.
MAGA,
he was trying to yell out a website for like phone number bullshit. Like he was making mistakes in every debate, in every fucking thing he did.
MAGA, what did you come up for again?
To correct all the bullshit. I have to wait a whole 17 minutes because I don't want to cut you off in the middle like you do to me.
Okay, fine. Can we take them one at a time? Watch this. Say the first thing that I said. Let's take them one at a time.
What the hell? Go ahead.
What do you mean? This is my questioning. This is my shit. I paid to be up here.
Okay, answer your questions. Answer your questions.
My question is, one, can you stop waiting for more people to die? Hopefully nobody dies from now on. Because guess what?
What are you saying? What are you saying? What's your question to me?
I just want to correct things that you said. Basically, what did I say? Trump doesn't want to say when this is going to end because it's stupid to do so. Because if you're correct, the enemy knows it. If you're not correct, then it's going to be used against you. I mean, the thing is only 2 weeks old, and you're asking when it's going to end.
Well, MAGA, let me just say, I just want to say something. If he says the war was won on the first day, he said in speeches, we've already won. How much longer do we continue fighting a war that we've already won? I mean, at some point, people are going to start questioning that, right?
I mean, we're not even fighting the war anymore. At this point, we're just securing the Strait of Hormuz.
What did you come up to ask me, sir? That's not a question.
I came up to correct all the bullshit you're saying, including what you said about me having no friends. I have a ton of fucking friends.
Okay, cool. My bad. You got friends. Okay, let's move on.
Everything
You're right.
I do.
You're right. I don't know if you have friends or not.
You've seen my shit. You've seen my house. My house is like 7 bedrooms, and I live pretty well.
Okay, cool.
I just don't fucking share it on here like you guys do.
Okay, cool. My bad. Next. You have friends.
Next,
okay, cool.
Why do you think more people died than being reported?
Because I have other sources. I will tell you because I have other sources than you do.
And I want to let me just chime in real quick. MAGA reaction. You asked that question. Why do you think more people die? You and I just had a long conversation, and you admitted that if things are going really, really bad, Trump may not tell you the truth to keep you calm. If we're taking a bunch of casualties, one way to keep us calm is to not tell us about it. That's kind of where you directed the conversation.
No, but he still has, so far, he's told us about the people that died. I mean, I would have hid the ones that died in that airplane crash. What do you think he's hiding?
MAGA react.
You can't. Go ahead. Well, Mike.
Well, no, you asked me a question. I answered it. Now, what else? And by the way, Tim, and this is why I did this, Tim. So when I come on your panel, Tim, no, I'm gonna say it again. I have sources that you don't, and Tim, I verified my sources with Tim off app one day. So Tim, do I have other sources?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kim, so what's your next question?
What the fuck was my next question?
Oh, you see, you brought your funky ass up here. You weren't
No,
prepared
you
for
keep
this.
fucking on my train of thought.
No, here's the thing. I will tell you this. Not only is Trump lying, but the Pentagon's lying because Pete Hegseth said that when Sergeant Simmons was unalived in the military, he talked to his father, and his father said, continue the fight until this thing is done. You remember when he said that, Maggie?
No, I don't know what you're talking about whatsoever.
You know what I'm talking about? You remember Pete Hegseth saying he talked to the parents of fallen soldiers,
No, bro,
and
I
they told.
I didn't catch all that.
Okay, fine. So when you came up here and asked me in my position, well, that father came out and said, I never said that. When I talk about not being able to trust this administration.
I didn't come up here to correct that. I came here to tell you to stop rooting for Iran. And
How is he
rooting for the military to secure the Strait of Hormuz?
How is he rooting for Iran? How is he rooting for Iran?
You keep rooting for Trump to fail, and Trump is unfortunately the leader of this country. So if you're rooting for Trump to fail, that means you're rooting for America to fail.
I'm curious, what has he said that indicates he wants Iran to succeed? You said he's rooting for Trump to fail. Based on what has he said exactly?
All his predictions have been pro-Iran, that they're gonna win everything. That they're
but isn't that what all of Trump?
Oil's gonna go up. That
yeah. But isn't that the same way? Wait a minute, hold on. That isn't that the same that Trump or the right was doing with Kamala Harris or Biden? All of the predictions were pro-Europe, pro-Russia. They're gonna be laughing at us. I mean, that don't mean they were rooting for those countries, does it?
It was different though, because right now the military is involved.
You came up here. You paid a Galaxy
in charge.
MAGA, you paid a Galaxy to come up here and talk to me. So what did I say that made you think that I was rooting for Iran to win?
Basically, everything you fucking say is
not basically. Well, tell me what I said.
What you just said right now? You want more? You think more people died? You think we would never secure the Strait of Hormuz? You think that this is going to be an endless war, a 20-year war like Iran, and it's not going to be. He needs to end this by the midterms.
Well, hold on. Stop right there. Stop right there so I can respond.
5 minutes.
This is how conversations work. That's cool. This is how conversations work. We're gonna be efficient with your 5 minutes. Number one, none of those things indicate that I want us to lose. Those indicate that I'm paying attention to what's going on, and I don't see a quick end to this thing like he's telling you guys. That's what I say. Now, also, hold on. It's gonna take the Navy a week and a half to 2 weeks to get over there with our troops. So if it was going to end in 2 weeks, why send them over there just for it to end?
I think the battle.
Can you answer my question, sir?
Because securing the Strait of Hormuz is going to be a full-time thing.
Is it going to take longer than 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So what did you come up here to talk about? Because you said it's going to end in 2 weeks.
It's going to be doable. I think the U.S. military is going to be able to secure that little stretch of water.
You can't secure it if you're not there yet. MAGA Reacts, you can't secure it with the troops that aren't there yet, right?
No, we're going to secure it with the ships. I mean, we've already blew up pretty much.
So why are we sending troops? Why are we sending more troops? We sent more today from California.
To secure the outlining islands. I don't think they're going to be used on the mainland. If they use them, they're going to be in outlying islands.
Can I ask you a question? Because we sit over here in America and on this app, and we keep going back and forth about, are there quote unquote boots on the ground? If you ask any of these members that are going over, these soldiers going over there right now, I don't give a fuck if they're in Kuwait, if they're on the Carib Island. What do you think they consider themselves?
I'm sure even on the ship, it's considered boots on the ground. But
so
I don't think there's going to be. I hate to
Let me ask you another question since you came up here.
It's going to be.
If we care about the soldiers, we should care about how they view their service. And if they view their service as boots on the ground, which they do, by the way, you're correct, then that is the standard that I'm going by. Not what you say or what Trump says about they're not boots on the ground any time.
Then now you're playing with basic English, because we know boots on the ground.
Well, wait a minute.
Like permanent
If we're talking about English,
Iran.
if we're talking about English, then I want you to stop saying the word imminent doesn't mean imminent. Because we wouldn't be there if words
I agree
matter.
with you on that one. They weren't an imminent threat. I'll give you that one. They were not an imminent threat.
Imminent and obliteration.
Wait. So wait. MAGA reacts. You said you do not believe Iran was an imminent threat.
No.
So he lied?
Yeah, he lied about that one.
So
That's like a straight up lie. Like, that's not for the good of the government. That was only for him to go to war.
So we're at war behind a lie. So you're admitting that we're at war behind a lie.
No, 100%. 100%.
Okay, so we're sending soldiers.
Lie, but there's also other reasons that we're there.
Like, and then I'll let you have the rest of your time.
They murdered a month ago.
That none of that matters. And see, Tim, you remember when I told you
there's 20 reasons.
You don't have a foundation.
We're there for the oil.
Tim,
we're there for the people. We're there for all these other reasons.
He's actually admitting quite a bit. I'm surprised to hear MAGA reacts admit that, though. I'm surprised MAGA reacts admitted that. What were you asking, Mike?
I've admitted that to
Here's what I was going to say, Tim. Here's what I'm saying, Tim, and I told you this from the beginning. If you start something from a fucked up foundation, everything you build on it will be shaky.
Fruit of the, yeah, it's like, and that's what I told you.
Only one thing is fucked up. All the other reasons are good.
No, you don't, but you don't know it. There's no way to know that. That's what I was kind of giving you the same argument, MAGA, the fruit of the poisonous tree argument, when you said he says things to keep people calm, even though it once you are known for telling lies, your credibility is shot. Nobody knows if you're not anything we get involved in. If you admit he'll just start, lie to start a war, then how do we know anything else coming out of it ain't true?
Look, I even MAGA knows the part about that that's a lie, but we're still supportive.
MAGA reacts.
For fucking 60 years.
MAGA reacts. The bottom line is this: if you accept the initial lie, then you accept the results from the lie. We grew up. Let me tell you this before, and I know time about to be up. Hold on, MAGA reacts. Hold on, MAGA reacts.
What about
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. You can say whatever you want. But I'm
what about all the truth?
Yeah. The bottom line is
they not killed 30,000 other people?
No, they didn't, and that's not been verified.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to move it on. Okay, Mike, ask. Hold on, Mike, ask. Hold on. We got to move it on. Mike, ask your question, and now I'll give you MAGA the response, and that's what we got to move
have
on.
the rest.
All right.
And it's not even a question, it's a statement. If you accept somebody telling you a lie as their premise as why they're going to do something, and you find out that the reason you are doing it was based on a lie, and you accept everything after that, that person's not the fool, you are.
MAGA? Thank you, Mike. MAGA, answer.
We have 10, almost 15 reasons why we went to war with Iran. I say 2 of them are lies. Maybe 3, but we still got the other 12 that are 100% true.
What are the 2? Give me the 2 or 3.
Boogeyman for America for the last 60 years. The government's been using it as a boogeyman for 60 years. Trump's getting rid of that boogeyman. And then one extra little note. You guys earlier said killing people is expensive. Killing people is cheap.
No. Hegseth. Wait. No. Pete Hegseth said that. He's quote Pete Hegseth asked for $200 billion. And when people started questioning why you need so much money for a war that's going to be ending soon, he's the one that said killing people costs a lot of money. That's where that's coming from, Pete Hegseth.
Well, he's wrong. Killing people is cheap. Being precise and you know what's crazy? We use 7,000 bombs or 10,000, whatever that number is, 70,000, 7,000, and we only killed like 2,000 people, all military, mostly military, except for the 150 kids.
I can't speak
so
for that.
That's crazy that we shot that many missiles and mostly killed military targets. And they're shooting less and less missiles every fucking day. Eventually, that shit's gonna be 0. And
assuming they're not making more. MAGA, I gotta go. We'll leave it at that.
I will find.
And I think he was saying that we'll find where they're making them. Maybe. But if you see the type of drones, those look like, something with a 30cc, scooter engine on the back of it and just a plastic wing with explosives on the end of it. My guess is you can probably make those things damn near anywhere. So just like the Ukrainian drones, they're making that shit right there on the battlefield. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll see how quick it ends. But if you requested $200 billion, that doesn't sound like something that's going to end. Anyway, continue on with the program. Looking in the comments real quick, Evil Abibabu says Trump ain't shit. Says the only thing that Trump is going to feel in his bones is orange alien ooze. What the fuck, Evil? What kind of, that's a weird comment. Looking in the comments though, real quick, somebody said, and they're not there for oil. You said they're not there for their oil. Well, Trump was quoted in saying with the Iraq war, we should have took the oil. I mean, we kind of started taking it in Venezuela. I'd be surprised if we attacked Iran and Trump didn't try to recoup some of the loss by taking oil. I mean, you could be right. This is why MAGA sucks, says Evil Babu. This is why they look horrible and they look guilty, because they are destroying the world. And MAGA reacts, get your mind in the game and get it out of politics. I do want folks to get their mind in the game because I mentioned this in the beginning of the live. President Trump's administration is now targeting Colombia. The president of Colombia. This came in, this news was released right before I got on air about an hour and a half ago. That we now are deeming the president of Colombia as a high priority target.
Are reportedly looking into potential ties between drug and Colombian President Gustavo Petro.
The investigation marks a major escalation in tensions between the U.S. and the South American leader. Local 10's Ross Ketchke is live in Washington with what we're learning. Ross?
Well, good evening, guys. Tonight, we are also learning the DEA has designated the Colombian president as a person of interest, as a potential target, a label that is normally designated for those who are considered to be of substantial importance to the international drug trade. And all.
So here's a thing. If the DEA, look, they're saying the guy's involved in drugs. I mean, the country of Colombia is now the country of Colombia, unlike Venezuela, they are known for, drug trafficking, but going after heads of state is something we have not normally did. So, and I'm bringing this up because there could easily be some sort of Interpol or international warrant for President Trump after he leaves office. I mean, because some of the things he's doing would be considered international crimes as well. If we're going to go after folks dealing drugs, a president of a country say, you've broken drug crimes. I mean, there's a million ways we could go. Whether we're talking about the boats off the coast of Venezuela, they could say those are murders. Who knows? I mean, I mentioned Cuba, for instance. We're basically starving the nation of Cuba of energy. So that means they can't refrigerate their food. They can't, use air conditioning in a heavy tropical climate. Anybody in a hospital that may be on some sort of a machine, they have no power to run the machine. We're killing people in Cuba. I don't think that's even up for debate. When you take a country, 10 million people in Cuba, I think they said, they have no power. Complete blackout in Cuba for days on end. People are dying behind that. And that's something that was done at the behest of the United States. So what I'm saying is if we can create reasons for why a foreign leader has broken the law and we can go in that country and get that leader, you got to assume that there may be people seeking to arrest our leader. Now, there's no way they're going to be able to come into our country and get President Trump. But that's not to say that some future government of this country that's not pro-Trump may not say, we're going to hand them over to you. We believe, let's say you get a bunch of liberals in there. You want to talk about witch hunts and all of that shit that Trump went through? You think the liberals right now, if there was an Interpol warrant for Trump suggesting that he committed acts of murder while head of state, and he can't prove that those Venezuelan boats actually were carrying drugs or something like that? It's possible. Hopefully not. But we are taking out heads of state. So if they put a warrant out for ours, I'm just saying. He says the people would stop them. How can the people stop them if they don't know? There's no way. I mean, how can the people stop them? If all of a sudden there's an international warrant out for President Trump's arrest as a citizen, let's say he's already became a citizen of the country after serving as president, and there's an international warrant for his arrest, there's no way to know when the government may allow authorities to come in and get him. I mean, the Secret Service may just simply, handcuff him and fly him over to, some international airport, and the other country that wants him may be there to grab him. There's nothing that people can do to stop that. You can protest and get pissed off after you hear about it, but this kind of shit happens in the middle of the night. You're not going to stop that. Anyway, let me go back to the box. Secret Service has to protect him for life. And when they went to Mar-a-Lago to serve a warrant on President Trump's home, the Secret Service had to stand down and let them go in there. He's actually been placed under arrest while under the protection of the Secret Service. In fact, Secret Service have came forward and stated that they were already looking into logistics of how to maintain security for him if he was in jail, because it was starting to look like he might go to jail and they have to continue protecting him. So Secret Service can do whatever they want. You can fly a Secret Service detail to wherever the trial is held in Europe or whatever. You can protect him while he's going through trial or whatever, the same way they did in America. So that's not to say it still can't happen. Let me go to the box and help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goal, if you will. I need you guys to tap the screen to get the likes on up to 80,000. Handsome conservative, good evening.
You got a problem, man.
You sound like my divorce lawyer.
You got a big problem. I've been sitting here listening to your show, and I've come to the conclusion that you need Gangster Grandma back.
Why do you say that?
Listen, listen. You remember those old TV shows that we would watch when we were growing up, All in the Family?
Yeah.
It would have Archie Bunker. Sanford and Son. It would have Red Fox, right? And the Jeffersons. It would have Weezy. She's your Weezy, man. You need your Weezy.
She's only been gone for one show.
One show that didn't work, and you lost internet, dude. Take a hint. You need your Weezy back to make this show good. Okay. I mean, who else is going to set us assholes straight? Come on.
You realize how many folks in the comments, there's a lot of folks like what you're saying that actually do favor against the grandma, but I get a lot of other folks on my MAGA side of the aisle that say I'm turning the show off until she's gone.
I don't agree with anything she says, and I think she gives you a hard time. But it makes your show awesome. Okay? You need your Weezy. That's your work wife, all right?
I suppose.
I mean, all right, that's all I.
But listen. She decided to eject at 30,000 feet. I didn't tell me that she could have flew the rest of the flight. She decided to do it. She's welcome back anytime. I didn't run her out of here.
Miss Mo Better does okay, but she's no Gangster Grandma, and we need that chaos back in the cage.
Oh my God. Well, like I said, my MAGA viewers always say when she comes on, I'm gonna turn it off until she's gone, and then I'll come in. So MAGA don't miss her at all.
Look, I may not agree with anything she says, but man, she's entertaining. I mean, yeah, I think we all feel bad for you, but damn, she's entertaining. I mean, all right.
I'll pass it on to her. I'll reach out and pass it on to her.
Make it one of your little clips. Bring Gangster Grandma back. All right.
I'll make a clip and I'll take an actual poll and see what folks are watching. I see in the comments, Jake says, I watch you so much. My girlfriend knows Gangster Grandma. That I get a lot of people that ask about her. That is true. That is absolutely true. A lot of people ask about her.
As long as she isn't acting like Gangster Grandma, he'll be fine. So what are we talking about today?
Are we still? I'm asking. Are we the good guys? Are we still the good guys? Considering that, I mean, obviously, I mean, we've really really gotten ourselves involved in a lot of countries, conservative. I mean, we started out threatening Greenland and Canada and Panama, and obviously we've removed Maduro from power in Venezuela. We obviously got a really big excursion going on in Iran, and now Trump is threatening both Cuba and Colombia. Are we still the good guys?
No, and I'll tell you, we can't be the good guys. That's the
Explain.
mistake. We can't be the
Were
good
we
guys
ever the
because
good
you can't-
guys?
I think maybe one time we tried to be, but look, let me say why, and then maybe I can get it through. You can't have a base in everybody else's country, basically, interfere in what's going on with the oil and the politics of that country and still be the good guy. I mean, that's not how it works. You either want to be in control or you want to be the good guy, but you can't always be both. You know,
But has there been okay? So in other words, we were not the good guy even under the Biden administration or the first Trump or Obama
that's
either.
right. That's right. That's right. Because again, we had bases everywhere.
Yeah, but what
We got
about
our fingers
so you
in
don't
everything?
so you don't believe our relationship has really changed with the world much at all since Trump became president? We were already the bad guy.
I don't like saying we're the bad guy. I guess, yeah.
If you're not
you're
the
gonna
good
push
guy-
me, yeah, we have to. I guess, yeah, you're right. We have to be called the bad guy. You can't have your fingers in everybody's pot and call yourself the good guy. I mean, you just can't do that.
Okay, but
And
when you
it's-
start, but we do have allies though, conservative. I mean, when you're starting, when you're threatening to take over your
We
own allies,
have allies.
huh?
We have allies. Yeah, we got allies. All right. It's our allies are pitiful. We got Canada, we got France, we got the UK, we got the European Union. Man, they can't take care of their own shit. What kind of ally are they to us?
I vehemently disagree with that. Just because no country on earth has a military the size of ours, but I'll tell you this: the European Union. When you think about all of those countries that represent the European Union, the EU as a whole would probably be one of the top 5 powers on earth. How many countries could just readily wipe out the EU? You, other than China, US, and maybe Russia, who else out there could really, I suppose maybe Pakistan or India, one of those big, heavily populated countries with all sorts of nukes. But outside of that, the European Union is one of the top 10 strongest countries or top 10 strongest entities on earth. So I don't know why people think they're so weak.
Let me ask you this: you think they're our ally? If one of our ships, okay, in this conflict we're in, because we're not supposed to call it a war, so I'm gonna just call it a conflict. Okay, if one of our ships gets sunk, if some of our troops on the ships get killed, you see them running to our rescue?
If this was before we invaded Iran and we were just in the Persian Gulf and somebody, yeah, I do see them. I mean, because what about September 11th? They ran to our rescue after that.
Okay, but I'm talking about right now. I'm trying to use this particular situation.
Yeah.
If they don't agree with what we're doing, fine, I can respect that.
There's
They
more
don't
to it
agree
than
with
that.
what America's
There's more
doing.
to it than that.
But if we got attacked and they're supposed to defend any one of the people in that group that gets attacked, do you think they're going to send all of their ships over to protect the American lives and American ships?
If we were in that region and we got attacked by Russia or something like that, I could see them stepping up. But right now we're involved.
Well,
right now,
I'm talking like Iran.
no, because we attacked Iran first. So, in other words, if Iran is operating in self-defense, is what you're asking, we're not getting attacked. They're striking back. So you're saying if Iran hit us in self-defense, would the European Union or better yet would NATO rise up to help us? No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
NATO. Thank you. That's what I was.
Yeah,
trying
I don't
to
think
of
NATO. No, I don't, because here's the problem. And we could go deep down the dive of how trashy Trump has been talking about NATO since he became a politician. But also, when we attacked Iran, not only did we not give our NATO members nations a heads up, they had citizens and shit in the region, and they had to scramble to get their people out of the way of bombs being dropped. We treated them like shit. I mean, what do you expect them to do?
Here's the way I understand this, and again, I want to admit I could be wrong. You know, I'm not 100% on this, but right or wrong, whether we're in this and it's a legal war or just a conflict, if we're a part of the union and we get attacked, they're supposed to come to our defense,
right?
Just like we're supposed to come to their defense,
right?
Okay. My question is, do you think they would come to our defense even though we're doing it and they don't approve of it?
No, because you're not.
I don't see them coming to our defense.
I think where we have a disagreement with conservative is your wording. You're calling it attack. Let's say, for instance, you and I are sitting in a bar together. We're close friends. We have a pact. If somebody fucks with you, I got your back. If somebody fucks with me, you got my back. And all of a sudden, you're sitting there and you just take the bartender's head and slam it against the bar for no reason at all. And all of a sudden, his buddy comes and punches you in the face, or his father or his son, or maybe he gets up and punches you in the face. And you're looking at me like, I'm getting attacked. Help me out. You started that shit. That ain't the same as if somebody walked up and attacked. What happened with Iran is we started it, and now they are operating in self-defense, and you're calling the self-defense strikes an attack. They're not an attack. That's self-defense.
All right. I'll give it to you. I'm just, the way I see it is, and maybe it's me. Maybe it is me. I've never thought of our allies as much of allies, more of dependents. They're more dependent on America than they are allies. Mm. We need to cover their money for this, or they need help with that. But normally, except for like September 11th, like you said, normally we're the ones that are doing for them. So I don't really see them stepping up for us.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion, and
I think that opinion is derived from U.S. propaganda. For instance, everybody in the United States thinks that NATO is not doing anywhere near as much for the Ukraine, for instance, as we are. Yet Poland has taken in like 2 million Ukrainian refugees. That's worth more than any weapons we're sending them. I mean, they've taken in 2 million, people get out the way of a war zone. They've taken in 2 million Ukrainian refugees. That's just Poland alone. I think Romania's taking in a bunch of them as well. But in America, we have a sentiment of only we're helping Ukraine. The European theater, nobody's doing anything for. So that's propaganda in America, where we tell ourselves.
Well, I think it's more like they're not. They may be taking in refugees. I'm not disputing that. Like in the Ukraine situation, okay? But they're not helping to take their country back. You see what I'm saying?
We're not helping to take in refugees.
All right. And we're not helping to take their country back either, which I've talked to you about before. I thought that in the beginning we should have helped them keep their country like we agreed to do. Remember, I told you we had a treaty with them. So I mean, I'm not saying we're not guilty. It's just hard for me to see him as an ally.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing I think that you and many that say that is failing to realize as well, is that we do what I refer to as paying the cost to be the boss. If you want the US dollar to be the gold standard, you want to have all of the top say-so in the UN and EU meetings and NATO meetings, but you want, when it comes to us forking over money, for everybody to be equal. That doesn't work like that. You want to be the boss of everything, But when it comes to finances, you're complaining, well, why are we all equal? Because we're not equal in any other manner. So the European countries or NATO, whatever the case may be, they've taken a smaller stance in how much they're contributing financially into their defense budgets, because the United States is not only stepping up, but they're submitting themselves to United States rule to some degree. America's paying the cost to be the boss. If Trump comes in there and all of a sudden says everybody got to pay their equal share, then when he starts wars like he did with Iran, now you've given them the independence to say, well, shit, you ain't doing nothing for us. So why should we have to step up and help you out? That's what is. It's the same thing with the tariffs. We believed that the countries were ripping us off with tariffs, so we decided to equal things out. Well, since you're not giving me a deal anymore, I'm going to buy my soybean from Brazil. I mean, you used to be the one giving me a deal. You're not giving me any deals anymore. So what's happening is we are losing power doing that.
Well, I mean, I can't justify everything that the Congress, the Senate, or the White House does. I mean, honestly, I thought the tariffs thing, I didn't understand it from the get-go anyhow. But I do believe that we were getting it taken advantage of by other countries.
But you also believe we were the
way to do it.
You also believe we were the world leader, right?
I believe we got our hands in everybody's cookie jar. I believe that we're stretching ourselves too thin, if that makes any sense.
Well, here's the problem. But here's the problem. We, just like I just mentioned in that explanation, we believe we're being taken advantage of while admitting that we're the world's police, the world leader. So to some degree, leadership-wise, all those other countries are being taken advantage of also. That's why I said it's an equal trade. We were paying the cost to be the boss. You're not being taken advantage of. You want to be the boss. It's going to cost you more. But now you want to say you don't want to do that anymore. Well, you're not going to be able to just call people at your beck and call and get them to respond anymore. You've lost your ability to be the boss at that point.
Well, two things I wanted to tell you before I go is one, that last gentleman you had up here that was debating, he is right about one thing. If you want to know what's going on,
Al Jazeera.
Yeah, Al Jazeera News. My brother turned me on to that, and you can see what's going on without the American propaganda. And two, I just I still stand with taking care of Israel's borders. I just don't stand with attacking another country, for no reason. Like defending the borders is one thing, but going in and starting a war, I don't agree with that.
So
I've called it from the beginning.
So you don't believe Iran was an imminent threat either?
I don't think Iran was an imminent threat to America, but I believe in giving them the protection they need for their borders to keep their people safe. I don't believe in giving them weapons to attack other countries and starting a war that we didn't need to be in. Remember, we didn't jump in the war until they started it. We used that as the excuse.
So then it sounds like you're kind of admitting that the Trump administration is not being totally honest about this stuff, because he says it was an imminent threat.
I don't think any administration is completely honest with the American people. I think that we're told one thing and it's really about another. This time it's Trump's administration. Last time it was Biden with Ukraine.
But this time it's war.
Before that I'm using presidents as, I don't believe that they tell us the truth to start with.
Yeah, but when we talk about Trump, 'cause I see in the comments, Marquis says this is your way of trying to suppress Trump's bullshit. And I was going to say that when we question what Trump is doing, and then you follow up by saying, well, they all do it, you are kind of downplay. I mean, I get that other presidents are not honest, but we're talking about this guy, and you expanded it out to everybody.
just straight out, I'll tackle these two things straight out. We'll stick with Trump because you're right. That's who's president right now. And this gentleman's question that he said, we're trying to suppress. I believe that every American citizen, no matter what party you're in, has the right to question the president and what he's doing it for. And I don't care if you're a Republican, a MAGA, a Democrat, a progressive, or you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have the right to question. You're an American citizen. All right. I don't agree with the war. I haven't agreed with the war, but I have called it from the beginning. And me and you've talked about the war over and over.
Yeah.
And I've told you there are going to be troops on the ground. I told you, I think they're sending another 20,000 or something over there.
You sound like what Mike
that
said.
today.
Yeah, you sound like what Mike said. Is there's no way there's no way they're sending all those folks over there to just stand around.
Right. Now, I don't know what winning it looks like, but I do know that he's going to have to come out of this looking like he won something. Because it's going to cost him a lot of votes if he doesn't. And that's my opinion.
Well, he's not running again, so he doesn't give a shit. I mean, it's the midterms, but he's not running.
The third term, I was still on that.
That man
all right.
That man is 80 years old, I think, in November. He'll be 83 in 2028. And we're to believe, I mean, Chuck Norris just died at 86. Goddamn, he gonna live longer than Chuck Norris? I mean, so he gonna be president from 83 to 87. People really believe that?
Yeah, hey, seriously though, rest in peace, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I mean, he gonna outlive Chuck Norris? Come on. I think listen, no matter how much you like Trump or dislike Trump or whatever, whether he could win a third term, which I do believe there is a possibility because Congress kind of just but at the end of the day, nobody beats Father Time. To believe that Trump could serve a third term between the ages of 83 and 87, that's crazy. I mean, he's not going to beat Father Time.
It was fun while it lasted. I got to admit that. It was a fun little joke while it lasted. You know, third, fourth term. But yeah, I'm a hop down man. I really came up here to say you need to get your Wheezy back.
I'll see what I can do. Handsome conservative, everybody.
All right.
Thank you very much. And in the comments, I think that says Damien, pay attention. Argentina is the name on a lot of your groceries now. This is a fact. Why is that? I didn't know that was the case. We're getting stuff from Argentina. I did not know that. But I'll tell you this, like I mentioned earlier, with Trump's tariffs all over the planet, that made a lot of difference with our trading partners. I mean, like I said, there are countries, because people believe that, well, America was being taken advantage of. Yeah, but we're only looking at it financially. America is paying more to them in their trade imbalance with the United States. So we think we're getting taken advantage of. Yeah, but we got ships sailing in their countries. We're using their airspace to launch attacks and do surveillance and all kinds of shit. And we're not allowing them to do any of that in our airspace. But somehow, because they're not paying as much to us as we're paying to them, we're being taken advantage of. No, there's a reason why they're letting you do all of that stuff. It's because they know they're receiving these deals on the back end. But the minute you equalize that out, then they don't have any reason to back you up on all this other stuff. And that's where right now, like for instance, with the tariffs, we've permanently lost trading partners. China is gaining a lot of trading partners that used to be ours. Well, shit, if you're going to say I'm not paying enough and I need to pay you more, then the deal I used to be getting with you is no longer there. So now I have an incentive to shop around. I was only fucking with you because I was saving 10, 15, 20%. But if you're going to charge me the same as everybody else, then let me go holler at him and see what he offering. And that's what has happened. So the idea that if we tariff everybody equally, everybody's just going to fork and pay up. No, we don't have to do business with you. We're doing business with you because you're doing something for us. Now that you're not doing that anymore, we're going to go ask other countries, are they willing to do anything for us? And some countries are going to say yes. And that is what has happened. Brazil has picked up a lot of work, and so has China, and other countries will. And when they pick up that work, they make contracts that last for years, if not a generation or so. So the problem is, even if you try to undo the damage, it's too late. I got a contract with China now that lasts for 20 years. I'm sorry, ain't nothing I can do. The last guy you had put us in a bind. So we had to save some money. So we went ahead and got into a contract with China for the next 20 years. You can talk to my grandkids and see if you can correct that later on in the next century. I mean, this is just how it goes. I mean, so think about it. I don't think we realized all of the stuff we were getting on the back end. I think we focused solely on the money and ignored all of the facts that they were letting us run the UN. They were letting us run NATO. They were just going along with the United States, whatever we did on the world stage. So they're paying less. Now, they're not paying less. They're not going to just go along with every damn thing. Real quick in the comments here, Americans are paying the tariffs. Much of our food, yeah, well, and that's true too. The tariffs, in the cost of the tariffs gets passed down to the customer. He said, Tammy says Americans are paying the tariffs. Much of our food comes from other countries. We aren't building fruit and vegetable factories here. True. Certainly not if we don't kick out the people that normally would pick the fruit and vegetables. Across the board, tariffs just inflate everyday foodstuffs we cannot grow. Fair point. You call me whatever you want to call me. That ain't going to change the fact that the United States makes the rules and we enforce it. And until you do something about it, shut up. No, we don't enforce the rules. Trump wants help to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Nobody's coming. What he's going to do, go over there and force them to do it? No, that's not true anymore. He wanted Greenland. He didn't get that. So no, he ain't doing all of that. I think you're kind of going a bit further than you should with that. By the way, tap the screen, get us on up to 90,000. We'll take the next caller. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap. Had mustache goals. Show your boy some love. Support the program. So going back to the comments, we'll take the next caller at 90,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. This is free speech programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone on the program. We're MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. Everybody gets to speak. You can be critical of anyone on the program. That includes me. Some folks have been asking about Gangsta Grandma because she regularly proved that sentiment. As you heard my last caller say, what a dumb fuck. What a dumb fuck. You're a piece of shit for voting for him, a dumb fuck. Thank you for your input. And like I said, I don't mind the criticism, but if you're spamming, you leave me no other choice. And he typed that a bunch of times, so that individual was spamming. We spent over $9 trillion and lost thousands of Americans for Israel. When will it be enough? Open question. That's it. You know, so not only is that a good question, that was part of the show's notes. I wanted to ask you folks is, would this cost about $2 billion? Was it per week or per day? How much, whatever the cost of this excursion is, at what point does it cease to not be worth it? I'm gonna ask you folks that. At what point? Because understand, thank you, Bama Landscaper, for the TikTok cap. Appreciate that. Thank you, sir. At what point? Because I'm talking about stuff like Saudi Arabia is now stating that oil could top $180 a barrel if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed for much longer. I've never heard of oil being that high. Usually when it gets around $100 a barrel, we start getting concerned, and I think it's somewhere near that now. But 180?
Saudi Arabia is now warning of a potential extreme oil price spike. According to a Wall Street Journal report, projections are now of crude touching $180 per barrel if the current supply disruption extends into late April.
That's until late April. 180. So what would that be? About double? Almost, at least about 60-70% more than it is now? $180 a barrel? I mean, right now, I heard earlier, and this the reason I got this Indian dude is because this story kind of just broke before I went live, and I couldn't find a more audio pleasing sound. This Indian dude was the best I could. I was trying to find a more more English or a U.S. dude or a broadcaster with this story, but I have also heard that if the Strait of Hormuz is not open, which we know it won't be over the weekend, but they're suggesting that by Monday, the average price of gas could be over $4 a gallon. By Monday. So that's why I'm asking that question. At what point do Americans, or better yet, at what point financially will Americans cease to say that this war is worth it? Are we so hell-bent on preventing Iran from becoming a nuclear power that there's no cost too high? I mean, let's say, for instance, gas is now $9 a gallon. Keep it up. We got to make sure they don't do this. Is there no cost that's too much? Is this that much of a threat that there is no cost we're not willing to pay? Damien says we're getting beef from Argentina instead of our own farmers here in America. Is that why Trump sent them billions of dollars? Explain. I've heard the cost of beef is ridiculous right now. I didn't know it was coming from Argentina, but the cost of beef is ridiculous. He gave them $40 billion, but according to the Trump administration, they paid the money back. But take it with a grain of salt. Straight Talk Commerce. Good evening, Straight Talk. Welcome to the program. Good evening, Straight Talk.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. I'm asking a simple question. Are we still the good guys?
Yes, we're the good guys.
Who views us as the
good? Aren't you a good guy? Aren't you a good guy?
I'm talking about on the world stage.
Are you a bad guy?
I'm talking about on the world stage. Who views us as the good guys?
Well, listen, I listen to Mr. Ruta from NATO, head of NATO.
Okay.
Italy, France, Netherlands, Japan, 5 countries are sending ships to help straighten up the Strait of Hormuz. So you're a little behind.
When did you get that? When did you get that? When did that come in?
This morning, I listened to it this morning. Gas prices. You know what the gas prices are in Paris?
We're not in Paris. That doesn't matter.
But I want to compare gas prices here with the gas prices somewhere else.
Okay, go ahead.
You keep saying gas prices are super high. They aren't super high. Gas prices in Paris are €2 per liter.
What?
There's 4 liters to a gallon. So that's €8. You know how many euros to a dollar?
It's about almost 2.
Yeah. So it is way higher in Paris.
Okay.
It behooves them. Hold on. It behooves them to make a move and to help out.
Bullshit. They don't want to go to war. I'm telling you what. First of all, let's be clear. Gas in Europe has always been more costly than it is. So that example, that ain't something that's new. But in regards to what you're talking about, Europe doesn't necessarily want to get into a war that they didn't start to lower gas prices. If they send,
guess what?
Wait, hold on.
Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, don't we?
No, if they send ships to the Strait of Hormuz and Iran bombs those ships and injures their sailors, now they're involved in a war that they didn't want or start. So that's why they're not doing it. And not to mention with Trump telling them that.
Tim, sometimes you are forced, just like this time, you are forced into situations that you did not predict, nor did you want. You would have loved to diplomatically say, hey, Iran, y'all need to come too. Stop with this nuclear ambition. You ain't getting a nuke.
I don't buy that. Trump said we won.
Don't buy that?
I'm telling you what. Trump said we won the war within the first few hours. If he said it several times, we can do it by ourselves. So do it by yourself then.
Yes. Okay. We could.
Are we for
we
real?
Could do it by ourselves. Oh, here we go.
I gotta bring her up.
Make your money. Make your money.
She's come by popular demand. Back by popular demand.
You know she couldn't stay away.
Shut the fuck up, dog. Let me tell y'all something. You are dumb as hell, Straight Talk. Like, why are you sucking on that white man and he don't want nothing to do with you? Why? Why are you like jonesing for that piece of shit that he don't give two fucks about you? Gas is going through the damn roof. Our groceries are going to go through the damn roof, and you over here clocking. Oh, you know about what? We shouldn't be in this damn war, you numb nut.
Straight talk.
I didn't. Will you translate what she said?
Well,
You couldn't understand that.
I don't understand what
I'll gladly translate. I'll gladly translate. She is basically saying America's slowly but surely becoming an economic disaster. Why the hell are you still back in this war?
That is
sucking on his
absolutely
cock so good,
demonstrably-
baby.
All right, she paid to talk to you. So
No,
I'm
she's
gonna let
talking
that
to
happen.
you. She's
I'm
talking to
talking to
me.
your ugly
Listen,
ass.
she didn't pay me to talk to me.
I'm
She paid
talking to
talk
you
to
straight
you.
talk with your uneducated
Now,
white
guess
teen
what,
looking
Granny?
ass. Now,
Guess what,
answer the
you
damn
lot
question,
lizard?
Pookie.
You didn't give me one dime to talk to me.
Oh my fuck! I ain't giving you shit.
Yes.
White teen man, you go.
But you look, wait, hold on,
Go
straight,
suck on his dick.
straight
Go
talk.
suck
You,
on the child taking ass kid to give you some money.
Straight
I
talk.
bet he say no though.
straight talk. You straight talk. She may be her language is strong, but you understand what she's saying. She's clear as day.
Honestly, I don't.
He's a special ed dropout.
No, I don't. And she doesn't stop. She has no self-control whatsoever.
Actually, I do, but to the white team, man, I can't
Demonstrate it.
stand you. I'll set you on fire if I could. 'Cause you're a
Demonstrate it.
maggot.
What the
Maggot,
hell?
though. I don't like maggots. I told you I like my allies.
Trying to
but not
crash out on you,
maggots.
Tim. She paid you some money. Now
But
she's
wait a
trying to
minute.
crash out on you.
She said she would
I'm
set
not
you.
crashing
She
out.
said she would
Poopy.
set you on. She would set you ablaze.
sure
I know.
would.
I mean, threatening me with violence. She's
I'm
trying to
not.
get
No,
kicked
no,
off
no,
TikTok.
no. I
What?
wasn't threatening.
What has he done, gangster? What has he done, gangster grandma, to suggest him being set ablaze? Why would you go that far with it?
Because you know what? Let me tell you something about these fucking rejects. You know what I mean? Like half the population of the United States is dumb as shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like they special ed dropouts. 5th grade, I thought
Thank you for confessing that.
They could have even passed the 5th fucking grade in comprehension, reading skills. They don't even know what critical thinking is. For real. Let's get that shit twisted, okay? All they know is woke. And the white man took that and ran with it, thinking woke was such a big thing. Now let's break this shit down, okay? To this white teen man. You sucked on his cock so big, thinking he's gonna give you so much money and all this shit, and he's fucking you in the ass without lube. How does that fucking feel?
Ooh.
I mean, how does it feel? Is it hitting your G-spot? Because, honey, I have to live with this shit. I gotta pump my gas and shit. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta go and make my living, and your ugly ass, I didn't pay for this shit. I didn't vote for this shit. But guess what? I'm being fucked in the ass without lube, and I don't like it.
Now I want
I
to.
don't like the white man.
I want to
I
add
like
something.
chocolate.
I want to add something on to this. Now, straight talk. You and I were talking about the European countries, and sometimes you're forced into some. You know, France and UK could say the same thing that she is saying, is that we got to pay for something. We didn't vote for this. How do you?
And you know what he said though in the comments? How special ed dropout this mofo is? We don't get an oil from the what's that shit that's called that they just closed down? I can't even say it. I apologize. The
Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. Hey, you know what this mofo said? We don't get an oil from there. Like, what the fuck?
Did you say that straight talk?
Yes, we do. We get
one
a
drop of oil.
Oh my
to
fucking
the
God.
United
I
States
swear to
come
God.
from the Strait
See,
of
this is how
Hormuz.
dumb this. And then they just bombed. They just
How
bombed.
much oil do we
a
buy
whole
from
shitload
Iran?
of
Wait, hold on.
natural gas.
How
Gangster,
much do we buy from Iran?
Oh my fucking
well,
God.
first of all, straight talk. All the oil coming through the Strait of Hormuz is not coming from Iran.
Thank you.
Excuse me?
All of the oil that comes through the Strait of
We got
Hormuz is not
fertilizer
coming from
through. We
Iran.
got cosmetics coming through. We got medication coming through. This is how ignorant you mofo white tea asses are.
I'm asking you,
That's why I
how much
said-
oil do you
that's why
think we get from the Strait of Hormuz?
I don't. They took Gangsta Grandma. Gangsta Grandma, good. Welcome back. By the way, she dropped because the app took her down. Like I said, but welcome back.
Maybe you can answer the question.
I don't know what percentage, But obviously, the price of fuel is going up in America significantly. So even if we don't get a drop, even if we don't get a
tremendous amount of money selling our oil on the world stage.
No, but here's the point.
100% true.
Even if you were correct that not a drop of their oil came from us through the Strait of Hormuz, it's obviously
you seem to know something.
I'm trying to answer you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Hold on. I'm trying to answer you.
I'm telling you, we don't get a drop.
Okay, and I'm trying to respond to that. The point I'm making is it's obviously having a significant effect on our fuel price, regardless if we get anything from there or not.
No, it's not. It's not having a significant.
So
it is not, listen, our oil prices have been much higher. We are in a war with Iran, and our fuel prices have remained relatively stable. Other countries are having a problem.
You're saying
you may be confusing us
what
with
the
other
hell?
countries.
You're saying that this war has not had a major effect on our fuel prices at all?
That is correct.
What?
My gas price in California, we buy CarBob. My gas price in California has not really deviated more than around 65 cents. It's not that big of a deal.
So gas prices. According
China, you should be very concerned.
I see in the comments, Chopper says, is he high? Let me tell you something, straight talk.
He's not high.
According to Trump himself during the State of the Union address 3 weeks ago from last Tuesday, I think it was, he said the average cost of gas in America was $2.20 per gallon. Where is it now? It's like $3.80. So gas has went up percentage-wise more than 50%. Why are you saying it hasn't increased much?
Again, listen, it's been much higher.
And that ain't got nothing to do with this.
Tim, let me ask you a question. Let's say that it went up $5 a gallon. If it went up $5 a gallon, we would still be around what Europeans pay.
Why? We don't give a shit about Europeans giving their wait, hold on. We don't give a damn about. No, wait, hold on, hang on. We don't give. Hold on, hang on. You don't give a damn about the Europeans when we say they give their citizens health care or tuition, but now you want to use them for your gas price argument?
I'm asking, when do you got to lay this out for me? When do you care about them and when don't you?
I'm asking you that.
No. Well, I'll turn it back on you. You think that they should have the right not to be involved in this action, okay?
Yeah.
We should give a shit what they say, right? You think that we should give a damn what they say. They're not helping us. They turned you down. They didn't turn just the president down. The United States asked them for their assistance, said, hey, we're 100%, we would love for you to join with us in putting this nuclear threat down.
That ain't
they
true.
Declined.
That's not.
What?
I don't think.
What do you mean
we did not ask the world for assistance.
I heard the president myself ask him.
The same guy that said he won the election, right? He says things like that.
Okay, did he say that or did he not say that?
We did not ask them to help us before the war started.
The President of the United States did not ask us and ask the European. He didn't say, why isn't Europe helping? He didn't say, why isn't Japan helping?
He asked for help after the war had already started.
Okay, so he did ask them for help.
Right, after it started. Okay. But wait, hold on. You're right, he asked for help, but he's also on record saying we don't need you.
We don't. There's a difference.
Then why ask?
Listen. If you asked a woman out, so would you like to go to dinner? And she says no. And you say, really, I have another date planned. I didn't need to go out with you, but I wanted your help. I wanted to go out with you. Do you not see the difference there?
If I listen to you, I'm going to end up jacking off that night. I'm just simply saying that you
listen, this is what I'm telling you. The Chinese are in very bad shape financially. That's why they haven't done anything. The Europeans are about to be in the same kind of shape financially because of their reluctance to get involved and to help in this matter.
Yeah, but
the United States, on the other hand, we are doing just fine.
But they're not at war. They're not. If they listen to you, if they listen to Trump, they're going to go from just not only being in bad shape financially to being at war. The European nations are not at war.
What do you think the Iranians can do to anyone at this point? We've already handled the big work. What do you think they're going to get if they go over there and help pull security?
They don't want, we don't, first of all, let me make something clear, straight talk. We don't know if this shit is going to just stay America and Israel versus Iran. This stuff could spread in any direction.
Who's going to attack us because of this? You tell me that. Who is upset with us because we did this?
China. I'm answering you.
Who's
I'm answering you. You repeat the same question over and over again. China's not happy with this. Russia's not happy with it. In fact, Russia's providing.
They lifted a finger.
Yes.
They lifted a finger.
Yes. They're providing. That's like saying America hasn't lifted a finger with the Ukrainians versus Russia. We've made it so that they can stay in the fight a lot longer. And Russia is starting to help the Iranians in the same way.
In what way? In what way?
Intelligence. They're finding weapons.
What Russia's telling them they're getting the shit bombed out of them?
No, they're telling them.
I think they know that.
I think what you have is a bad case of American imperialism syndrome. We're not untouchable. We're not untouchable.
I think what I have is I'm going to support my president. I'm going to support my country. Okay, I am a patriotic American.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think Iran had this coming for a long time. I think Hillary Clinton said she was going to do it if she was ever elected president. I think Bill Clinton went to President Trump and said, hey, you did something that I've always wanted to do. Everyone in the class but you seems to agree that this was a long time coming and that the world will be a much better place without the IRGC lobbing missiles around their neighborhood.
Could be. Here's what I would like to know. I would like to, if I'm in Trump's place, because you're right, all of the previous presidents were bitching and complaining about Iran being a threat. I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling George Bush. I'm calling Barack Obama. I'm calling, Joe Biden. Or I'm going to talk to the generals that served under those presidents and ask them, he gave you guys the same problems he's given us. Why didn't you guys do anything about it? It can't be that they all were just lazy and stupid. Why did you guys all collectively decide not to go? Hold on. Why did you all collectively not decide to go in Iran? When it's clearly something that needs to be done. I need to hear the answer to that question before we just jump up and down and celebrate.
I can tell you. You didn't have China in such a financially precarious position. They're growing at 2.3% rather than the 3.5% that they were expected to grow. So they are very damaged economically right now. You have Russia that's already engaged in a war in Ukraine. They are stretched very thin. They're bringing in troops from other countries. So those presidents didn't have the advantages that we do right now. This is the opportunity that we're seizing at the moment. This is the time that you go in and slap the dog shit out of Iran for not coming to the table and doing this diplomatically.
I don't think China is as decrepit as you're suggesting. Mitchell wrote in the comments.
Hey,
Mitchell wrote in the comments says China doesn't have high gas prices. Please explain that. I didn't know that was the case. Is that true?
Yes, they have very high gas prices. They cannot seem to get enough fuel. Their economy is tanking right now.
So he said China. He said they does not. So you're disagreeing with him.
100%.
Alexa, hold on, hang on. Let me see what Alexa, what is the average price of gas in China?
The average price of gasoline in China is currently 82 US cents per liter as of December 2025.
That's pretty fucking cheap. 3 liters to a gallon.
How many liters are in a gallon?
Like three something liters to a gallon. So that's actually cheap.
What were gas prices in China prior to this? They're struggling, my friend. They were. You got it. Listen, Tim. This is your problem. You don't put things together.
Okay.
Why will she not leave the country?
Alexa, what was the price of gas in China before the Iranian war?
There's a lot of time that you're asking.
Before the Iranian war, China's gasoline prices were last adjusted on February 24th, 2026. On March 9th, 2026, prices increased significantly due to the conflict. Would you like me to get you the latest news on how the Iranian
Alexa, stop. She didn't give me any numbers, but she's indicating they were even cheaper than the 83 cents a gallon they are now, or a liter they are now.
She just said they increased significantly. God, you don't even believe
You're
it.
not hearing. You're not hearing this.
Trump comes at you like this, dude. You do your own. Number one, that's not the way to do this, and I'm going to let you go with it. Okay.
Wait. The man says the price of gas in China is cheap. You disputed him. It's clear that is actually true.
Times how many? Times 4.
82 cents times 4 is still fairly cheap.
Liters are in a gallon.
3.5.
How many liters are in a gallon?
They're like 3.5.
3.67.
Right.
3.5. All right. Now you take the 86 cents, you multiply it by that number, and that's the gas price. You can then compare gas prices.
Right. So it's not that much more. It's about the same, if not a few pennies less.
Listen, the demand for gas in China, because they don't have everyone drive.
What is that? Now you on demand.
Everyone has a car in China?
And yet the gas prices.
They are a much smaller economy, my friend.
All right, now you on demand. Okay, now you don't want to demand. I mean, I see Handsome Conservative says, "Welcome back, Weezy." Yes, welcome back, Gangsta Grandma. Always good to have you back.
My God.
Well, listen, she was
Go swimming, gangsta.
There was a lot of demand. There was plenty of demand for her. So a lot of folks favor Gangsta Grandma. You just happen to not be one of them.
Listen, if it was that important to China, don't you think that they would get involved, or they would give President Trump a call and say, "Hey, we got to do something about this Strait of Hormuz situation"?
They may actually be making that call. Straight talk, but.
Do you have any evidence of that?
No, I said may. I'm not saying they are. Some of these nations may be making that call, telling Trump you need to do something about this. But when it comes to helping out,
Iran and told them to straighten the fuck up and let our ships get.
Well, I'm just saying it's a big difference between crying about the price of oil that is deriving from a war you didn't start, up to the point of actually joining the war.
Not start that war. You can say that all you want. That war was not started back in. Last month or the last 5 months. That was a long. What part of long time coming do you not understand? We cannot let them have a nuclear weapon.
Thank you, Gangster.
What part of that do you not get?
Like I said, I believe the Obama deal was actually working.
You are a fool. You are absolutely.
I'll take food for 200. I'll take food for 200 because I don't hear. Is there? Let me ask you this: is there other than Israel? Hold on. Other than Netanyahu in Israel, give me another nation that says other than Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel. What other nation says the Iran deal was not working?
It does not. Listen, the Iran did. Iran said it. Iran made it very, very clear that they would never give up their nuclear ambitions.
Other than, I'm going to ask again, other than Israel and the United States.
America, death to Israel, you not get?
Other than other than Israel and America, nobody was saying that deal was. In fact, when Trump broke the deal, the European nations protested saying that this was working. Why would you break this? They all believed it was working. Why is that?
Because, listen, even if, number one, they did, I don't know that they said that.
Yeah, they did. They did. Look it up.
I don't even know I want to agree that that's what they said. Number one. Number two, maybe they didn't know it wasn't working. I don't know what their intelligence on this was. Yeah. But let me just tell you, they may not have been enriching uranium. Maybe. They say they were, but maybe they weren't. But I do know that they were trying to develop a delivery system for something. That ballistic missile program wasn't just for no
I thought
reason.
That wasn't that obliterated.
Not delivering candies and
wasn't all of that obliterated last June?
No, but it has been obliterated now. I'm talking about their missile program.
So what got obliterated?
Their nuclear capabilities, their ability to refine uranium. Please try and keep up. If you're going to do these lives, please try to keep up.
Okay, I think
you make this way too easy. I'm about to fall asleep on you right now.
I think you're about to fall asleep in the streets. Like, I got to move it on, though. Always a pleasure talking to you, but
you need
I
some
think you're
time.
crazy.
So look, when you want, come over. We'll have a longer discussion.
I've been trying to. Every time I come over, you be just about to get off. So you got to let me know. I'll come over, but I got to go.
I will.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, later, buddy.
Moving on with the program, by the way. We don't disagree, but we don't need to agree. What do we say? We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. All opinions are respected, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Oftentimes we don't disagree, but that's how the program works. Tap the screen, get the likes on up, get us up over the 100,000 hump. Sexy Red, aka Gangsta Grandma, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Something. What does somebody say is fake? Just want those people's land, no matter what. Yeah, I don't think. Is there any other nation? Just like when I said. I asked my last caller, other than Israel in the Trump, I won't even say America. I'm going to say the Trump administration. Other than Israel in the Trump administration, is there anyone that suggested that the Iran deal that was written up with Obama was failing? And it's the same thing at this point. Other than Iran other than Israel and the Trump administration, is there anybody that says that Iran was posing an imminent threat? Israel and America under Trump appear to be saying things that nobody else on the world stage agrees with. Nobody. I mean, we got a bunch of supposed allies in NATO. None of them are claiming that Iran was developing a nuclear weapon, or as Trump says, they would have used it by now. But yet we want them to follow us into this conflict that they didn't agree with to begin with. So I'm just telling you, there's a reason for why they're not following us. We didn't even give them a heads up it was about to happen. Let's see, T2 says they were all simps. Iran's capabilities have been obliterated and decimated, yet they can keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. Well, because you don't need much to do that. Just a few mines. You don't need much weaponry to keep the strait closed. I mean, it's what does it say? The strait at its narrowest point, you can pretty much hit a ship with an artillery ship. So the only way you're going to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed is you're going to have to put people on the ground in Iran, at least around that curve where the Strait of Hormuz is, to make sure that there are no Iranians. I know we want to call them terrorists or whatever, but I'm going to say Iranians. And as long as they have their country, they can find, and thank you for that. Sexy Red, appreciate that. Thank you. They can just find spots to fire at ships coming through. So you're going to have to put Sexy Red. Wow, thank you. Shout out to you. They're going to have to put some sort of troops on the ground in Iran and prevent them from being able to launch anything from that part of their country. The only way to do that is boots on the ground. That's the only way you're going to be able to do that. And apparently they would have to be there for quite a while. They would have to be there damn near indefinitely. Gangsta Grandma, Jesus, thank you. Okay, looking in the comments, Hexef making sure we lose 2 time signal chats is like sending out smoke signals to the devil. I don't think Hexef is still on signal, do you think? You don't think he's still on there, do you? Let me go back to the box. Sexy Red, shout out. Are they paid protesters, if not terrorists? Look, to me, if somebody comes to your crib and start trying to hurt you and you defend yourself at home, there's no way in hell you're a terrorist. That's self-defense. You came to that person's house and you're starting shit with them at home. There's no way I ever see self-defense from your own territory as terrorism. That's insane. So no, I don't see what they're doing. I know a lot of folks want to suggest that by saying that you're rooting for Iran or you hate America or something like that. Throw in whatever you want, but I don't see any nation fighting on their own soil as a terrorist. We're there doing this. This is not somebody getting blown up in a subway somewhere in London or in America somewhere. We're there doing this. So anybody that fights us back from within that country, that's not a terrorist. That's self-defense. Let me go back to the box. We'll continue it on with I don't know what I just hit there. James Harper. Was Sexy Red in now? Did I see? I thought did they put you? James, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. All right. Do you agree with what I'm saying here? Is that how can they be terrorists if they're fighting from their own country?
And see, that's the thing. Like, it's a point of view. People will swear up and down that anybody that our enemy is automatically going to be the bad guy, but they don't look at it as what would you do if the roles were reversed?
Yeah, I think that we have our shit don't stink kind of complex though.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And the last guest pretty much proved that because all the shit he was saying was complete and utter bullshit.
But how do you respond to that? Because I mean, he's not the only one. That's a common sentiment from MAGA that NATO owes us, and they should be helping President Trump.
That's because they follow propaganda. Like I said, these people, a lot of these people that talk like that, they never worked hand in hand with our allies in the field.
Yeah,
because that I can tell you from experience. The Romanians, the English, the Germans. When they were out there, they were doing missions right alongside us and doing just as many missions as we were.
Yeah, I think that's where it is. When I think might have been Straight Talker, one of the other callers, and I talked about having American imperialism, where you just think America's the shit and you don't give anybody else credit. But yeah, I mean, that's what people don't want to talk about is that there's been a lot of our allies that have served in many of our wars, taking casualties and everything else. And to have Trump step up and say that you guys have never done shit and we don't need you. I mean, people have died in wars like what happened on September 11th.
They overestimated our capabilities and our value to the world.
Yeah. And I don't like that. I don't like when people have sent their soldiers to die alongside ours, and then to tell them at the end of the war, well, you ain't shit, we really didn't need you. I mean, this is what he's been saying, and now he's acting shocked that nobody's coming to aid him when he requests them.
Chris, that treaty that we signed, it doesn't go with us attacking somebody else. If we just decide, hey, we're just going to attack them, they have absolutely every right to say, no, I'm not initiating this clause. You can't just say, oh, they're not helping us out, so they should stop. Like, no, we are the aggressors. It'd be one thing if it was like 9/11 and we got hit first and then we decided to go after somebody. That's one thing.
What I don't understand, this is and I'm going to ask this question to my MAGA viewers in the comments. Do you think that Trump would use the United States to help a nation if that nation talked about us the way Trump is talking about those NATO? If a nation was saying all kinds of awful shit about us, particularly the president, because Trump is saying this awful shit to prime ministers, calling chancellors right out by name, calling the prime minister of Canada governor. If somebody was insulting Trump in that same manner, do you think if they got into a conflict that Trump would readily jump up and send our troops to help them out? That's a question I want to ask MAGA, because they don't seem to take into account all of the awful shit Trump said before this Iranian conflict began.
Hell, Tim, Fuda the Great just said it right there. Trump is not even helping the citizens out. Why would he even help them out?
I don't know. And I see in the comments somebody says calling them out. Calling people governor is not fucking calling them out. Calling the prime minister of Canada a governor, that's what you refer to as calling them out? Calling them out how? What does that got to do with calling anybody out? That's just insulting them. They ain't calling nobody out. I mean, some of the answers they give is crazy to that. Somebody said that's calling them out.
And then when you had Straight Talks, aka Timu Rush Limbaugh on here, you got to remember, like a lot of shit, especially the first thing he said, when he's like, "Oh, they're sending ships to help out the trade." There's not a single news source that backs that ridiculous ass claim.
Yeah, he said it, and I didn't call him up because I didn't know. I mean, because somebody told me that the other day, and I did look it up, and I found out because Trump was saying he was talking to France, and scale of 1 to 10, the call was an 8. Whoa, Sexy Red! Wow, wasn't expecting that.
Thank you, my baby.
Yeah, she looking out for you. But I will say this. It makes no sense to say. I mean, even if you don't think NATO has done their part or it, you don't say that shit on the world stage. You can call those leaders privately and tell them, look, this ain't working out. We've been looking out for you far more than you've been doing, or whatever the case may be. We need to straighten this out. It could be problems down the line. You don't go and post that on Truth Social and do all that crazy shit.
You gotta remember, this man he's been around nothing but yes men most of his damn life. So he thinks that he can say the same shit that he would say to like an exec, and then say, "Hey, you need to do your job," and they'll just hop to it and run to do what he says.
Well, perhaps it works. Perhaps it has worked for him a lot in the past, but
it worked because remember he put spineless people around him. So yeah, those tactics will work with them. Somebody who will defend themselves will be like, "No, you can kiss my ass. I'm not doing it." And then he'll start doing the whole thing. Oh, this person's never liked me. They're being against me from the start and bullshit like that.
Yeah, my take is this. Even if, and this is to my many of my MAGA viewers, even if everything Trump says is true and he's calling, there's still a way to do it. There's still a way to do it. All this firing people publicly and calling people all kinds of personal attacks and doing it, that shit comes with a cost. Now, the difference is MAGA does not believe any of Trump's insults and name calling should have any consequence whatsoever. If the United States has done something for a country and the United States is in a bind, you should just help the United States out. You should just ignore the fact that he's just really treated you like shit. Just let him get away with that part. And that's what I think where MAGA drops the ball is President Trump brings a lot of this stuff on himself by just treating people like shit.
Well, that's their guy. They're not going to admit that their guy's fucking up. And you see what happens when one of their own even admits that. You can see that with handsome conservative and Timur Rush Limbaugh. Every time happens occurs, disagreeing with Trump.
Who is Timur Rush Limbaugh?
Straight talk. He's putting the exact same Rush Limbaugh style tactics as he did with talk radio.
Yeah.
As you can see, every time you come back with a fact against his claim, what did he do? He'll pinpoint something else to say, "Oh no, this is what I meant right here. It's not what I said before. It's this right here." Or you're not listening. You won't let me talk. And the same shit he said compared about Gates and Grandma, he does himself.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't mind him having his opinion. I mean, you're right though. So he was moving the goalposts, but yeah, I don't understand why MAGA tends to think that you can say all kinds of horrible shit about a chancellor that has tens of thousands, if not millions of people that answer to them, or a prime minister or a president of another country. You can just punk them out on the world stage, and when you need them, they should just go ahead and send their soldiers on a ship or whatever and come help you out. Those people, those chancellors and prime ministers, they send all kinds of horrible shit. They got elections in their future. How does it look if you just let the United States president say all kinds of awful shit about you and punk you out, and now you out here trying to get me to vote for you? I mean, listen, Mr. Prime Minister, you wasn't talking that shit when Trump said all that horrible stuff about you. Maybe your opposition sounds better. I mean, you didn't seem so tough when Trump was talking about you. So to me, that's a problem.
Because they believe that like the whole world should see Trump as they see Trump, whereas he's infallible and just follow his plan is going to work out. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Well, listen, at the end of the day, maybe his plan, maybe not. His plan may work out, whatever the case may be, but there's always a way to do things. And you can't expect somebody to rise to
There actually has to be a plan for the plan to work out.
So you're saying there's no plan at all?
There's no plan at all. They thought that, oh, well, we did this here, we should do it everywhere. Like they think that one way is going to be universal, and they don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, and that's another good point you make. Is, in my opinion, I look at it like this: if you expect us to help you out with a conflict, you should let us know when you're about to get involved in one. You're gonna go gung ho with Iran, with your boy Netanyahu in Israel. You don't tell us shit. It breaks out, and we got to try to find a way to scramble and get our citizens home because they're over in Tel Aviv and they're in the area and bombs are dropping and shit. You didn't let us know anything, so some of our German or French citizens are damn near trying to escape from getting killed. And now you want us to come help when you didn't even give us so much as a common courtesy to let us know to bring our people home? You could have made a phone call and told us that.
Because they think that Article 5 means if any military action is taken by us, you by default are supposed to get your shit and ride with us to do it. Instead of Article 5's real intention is if you are attacked, then we'll help you defend your borders.
And that's my point though, is that you can't start wars and then complain why we didn't come and help you. Certainly, if you're going to start some shit without even telling us it's about to go down. I mean, we just find out you're in a fight now, and now you're calling us and well, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. We need you to come help us open it. Like, what the fuck is going on? You didn't even let us know nothing was about to happen. So I think the way Trump handled this was terrible. Terrible the way he handled it.
Yeah, and that brings up another thing. He was talking about, our gas prices weren't affected that much. Tim, it went up almost $1 since last month. Almost $1.
Thank you. Well, yeah, Straight Talk says gas hasn't increased that much. He tried to say it didn't go. Thank you, Sexy Red, for that level shit. Appreciate that. He's trying to say things didn't go up that much.
Yeah, and he's a liar, just like Trump. Trump is still talking about, we're the hottest country and shit like that. But if you look at the stock market, that's a whole different goddamn issue.
Yeah. Well, MAGA seems to think the country is doing well economically, though. I'm still getting MAGA suggesting that he's the best president we ever had.
That's because Trump's policy when it comes to bad news is don't tell it.
No, but they can see what they're paying for goods and services, right? They can see that. Thank you,
And what have they been saying every time something bad happens? Oh, it was the Biden administration. It was the Democrats. They're the reason why these things are happening.
Well, I mean, that's Trump's method of operation. I mean, he's going to, they say Trump derangement syndrome means you're going to criticize Trump no matter what, even if he cured cancer. Well, he's going to do that to his adversaries too. I mean, Trump is going to bring up Biden, and I don't know why the hell Obama names still keep coming up. You served a whole term, and Biden served a whole term since Obama. I don't know why the Trump administration still continues to. Obama served and left office in what? 2017, January 2017. So it's been almost 10 years. Why the hell is Obama name coming up? I don't get that.
Because Trump keeps trying to compare himself to Obama because he wants to say I was better than that guy.
I see in the comments, Joseph says because Trump is a racist piece of shit. I don't know, Joseph. Wow. But I mean, like I said, I don't know why his name is still coming up. There's just no reason. With 2 full terms of presidencies being covered, and now Trump is in almost a year and a half in his second one. Obama's name should be gone. I don't know why he keeps going back to that. That makes no sense.
Because, like I said, in Trump's view is anything good to happen is I take credit for. Anything bad that happens, I'm scapegoating it on my enemies.
He's been lucky with it so far. It's worked for him very well. I mean, like I said, people still tend. I got folks telling me he's the best president we ever had.
It worked because that small subset is the loudest subset talking about, he's done this, he's done that. And remember, we've already seen what was happening during his first term. The only reason why people aren't associated directly to his policy is because we had COVID. If we didn't have COVID, everybody would have been like, oh, yeah, you're not as good as we thought you were going to be.
I don't agree with that. I think if we didn't have COVID, Trump would have got reelected in 2020. I mean, for the most part, right up to the pandemic, I think America was fairly satisfied with Trump's first term.
No, before the pandemic, everything was riding like it usually does. Whenever you make changes in the beginning of your term, you start to see results towards the end of your term.
I don't know.
The policy would start, people's taxes and things like that were starting to slowly go up. and you was hearing like small trickles of people already complaining about it, and then towards the end, that's when we start seeing things, and we start seeing jobs were going down.
I mean, there may have been some downtrending, but I don't think it was significant enough. I think if Trump had not had to deal with COVID-19 and the pandemic, and I don't think he handled it very well at all. But if we didn't have a pandemic and the economy was where it was at before the pandemic, I'm thinking Trump would have easily won a second term. And I will say this, he had far more talented people in his administration the first time. There were people that had been serving,
and those talented people were telling him no all the damn time. Why you think he didn't try to get back? Not a single one of them.
Yeah, and not a single one of them think he should have been reelected. I think Ben, the black man, Ben Carson, I think is the only member of that. Well, maybe Bannon or Stephen Miller, but most of Trump's first administration, none of them supported him to get reelected.
And the people that were, all they wanted to do was just get back into a position of power to use the benefits of that power. They weren't going back. So like, hey, we were doing a good job. Let's get back to work. No, it was, hey, I want to get back to that position where I can use the luxuries.
Oh.
Because remember, Ben Carson, when he was in there, he was using his department to buy himself furniture and all other kinds of bullshit. And Miller, he was doing it for his white supremacist agenda.
Well, I gotta say, I wish I was friends with Trump. I mean, there's a lot of money that orbits around Trump. People that hang around Trump and are loyal to him, they make a lot of money. I mean, so
because he's the useful idiot that will sit there and let you abuse systems as long as you kiss his ass and make sure he gets money too. Yeah, you can abuse these systems. That's why we're dealing with all this shit we're doing right now. Like, Nate, if somebody in the government right now, in any other administration, blew as much money as these heads of state are doing right now, wouldn't we be calling for the resignation?
I would tend to think so, but right now there's still a good percentage of Americans that think Trump is doing phenomenally well as president. MAGA is overwhelmingly very happy at Trump.
Yeah, MAGA only represents what, maybe 25 to 30% of the actual population.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, but not enough to make shit change. Like everybody else is sitting there, they're actually feeling it. That's why you're seeing all these.
But there's still some independents and traditional conservatives that are still rolling with Trump. They may not be as now. MAGA is very happy with Trump, but there are independents and conservatives that would still likely support Trump if he's not going to run again, but they would support his candidates in his direction.
If that's the case, why are so many of his candidates losing these special elections?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Why are these are like some of the areas is where he's won by the double point value, and they're completely flipping.
That's a good. I mean, there's no denying that voting wise, Trump is not where he used to be. I mean, you're correct. In the off year, it was dismal for the Republicans. Most of these elections have been, I mean, you're right, even in areas that were traditionally Republican, if it didn't flip all the way blue, it became pink as opposed to dark red. So yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot harder out there for Republicans under President Trump in many areas. I don't disagree with that.
Right. Trump himself might have done good, but his candidates, they don't. They get obliterated.
How about this? In the comments, someone said, I think Marco Rubio will take over J.D. Vance's position or take over. I do tend to think that America on the right favors Rubio more so than Vance. I actually believe that. But do you see him becoming? Go ahead.
They see that because Vance he goes with what anybody will tell him. Because if you look at it, like, Vance used to be a never Trumper. Now he's like supposed to be like Trump's.
Shit, so did Rubio. Rubio got some bad quotes about Trump out there too.
Right. But if you look at his polling when he was running for president himself, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I think Rubio did better than Vance,
Yeah.
even before like becoming part of the administration.
Rubio did well enough to get a nickname. Vance did not. So yeah, because Vance was criticizing Trump, and Vance didn't even earn a nickname. Rubio did. Little Marco got a name, just like Ted Cruz, Lion Ted Cruz. You know you're doing well when you start you start attracting attention from him. And Rubio, I bet he had Vance didn't even get a nickname. So be it. I gotta move it on, though, James. Always a pleasure. Thank you for coming through.
No problem, John.
Thank you. By the way, tap the screen, get us on up to 115. If you're watching us on YouTube, understand the program is MAGA friendly. Now, we do take comments from all sides of the aisle, but our program is MAGA friendly. Callers can come in from any side of the aisle. Thank you for the hat and mustache there, Jovial. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Callers come in from all sides of the aisle. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You can be critical of anyone, including yours truly. Left of Bernie Sanders to Mom Donnie. That's the span of our comments. So everything is covered. We don't talk down to guests. We don't limit your time because of your politics. If you favor free speech from all sides of the aisle without any concern of being censored by the host, follow the program. If you're watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack right now, follow the program. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, give your guy a sub. And by the way, for my YouTube viewers, tap that like button. It helps out the algorithm. That's where a lot of my MAGA is. Tap that like button. Trump is not racist. He's not even pro-white, says Chuck Todd. Then what? Well, I think he's an opportunist. I'll go back to the box real quick, but I actually believe that, look, he dibbles and dabbles in racism. We can debate that, but is he actually a racist? I don't know what's in his heart. But he absolutely dibbles and dabbles in it to the point where you can bring it up as a conversation piece. But I believe he is more of an opportunist than racist. And I'll say it like this. If he could gain power, fame, and fortune by dealing mostly with African Americans, he would do that. I believe he would absolutely do that. If he could gain fame, fortune, and power by dealing mostly with racists, I believe he would do that too. Having said that, I do believe there are more of the latter in the Republican Party than there are black people. There's not a lot of blacks in the conservative party, which is the Republican Party now. Democrats used to be conservatives before the Civil Rights Act. But currently, the Republican Party is the conservative party. And I believe that there are fewer people of color than there are people that dislike folks of color. Therefore, if you're going to be an opportunist using the value of the majority in the party, then the people that dislike people of color is where you go, as opposed to the people of color themselves. That's my analysis. Take it any way you want. Anyway, look at it in the comments, though. I say he is a racialist. That's a new term. Why do Democrats get more campaign contributions from billionaires, yet billionaires? Wait a minute. Why do Democrats get more contributions from billionaires, yet billionaire Dems want billionaires to pay more in taxes? Because some billionaires don't mind being taxed more. Bill Gates' wife is a good example, or is it Jeff Bezos' wife? I think both of them have gave away a fortune. All billionaires do not want to keep every single dime they earn. A lot of them are generous. They're going to be more liberal leaning. A lot of billionaires. I mean, Warren Buffett, isn't he one that's known for saying that it's wrong that my secretary get taxed more than I do? All billionaires are not penny pinching stingy like that. It depends. Anyway, going back to the box. I don't know where it's frozen there. We'll go to Sexy Red. You came back through. Good evening.
You know what? You almost got divorce papers on your ugly ass. I swear to God. And then 2 days in a damn row, people in my inbox, come back. You're boring. That's what they said.
Oh my God. I got insulted like that.
And then I don't know what the hell happened, but my inbox was blowing the shit up. I was pulling up in my driveway, and my inbox was blowing the hell up. I said, what the fuck is going on? Come back! Come back!
They said
Even the white tea people said come back. That's some shit when the white tea people said come back. I'm like, I'm scared. They might try to hang me.
Well, Hanson conservative, that's the first thing he said when he came up is you need Gangsta Grandma back. So a lot of folks like you.
Can I ask you something? Why the fuck you still fluffing? Let me tell you, he's not a racist. Yes, he is. That mofo is the biggest racist ever. You feel what I'm saying? On God. He don't like Mexicans. Oh, they're sending us the rapists and, murderers. But yet, the white tea man's the one that's doing the most. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like to
Africa's a shithole. Africa's a shithole, and Africa's very beautiful. I went on my honeymoon there when I was younger. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Well, I like to see the good in people against Grandma, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I know, you like to suck it. I know, you do.
What the hell?
No. So I like to see the good, yeah. That dang-a-ling, is that damn good? Hell to the fuck to the no.
Listen, I like to see Trump said a lot of positive things about Jesse Jackson, apparently helped him out in his lifetime.
Jesse Jackson was a sellout. Let's keep it a buck. Okay? He voted for that trick. No, hell no.
I don't buy that. Jesse Jackson?
Let me tell you something. And now he was a maggot. I don't care if he unalived.
Whoa, that's mean. Listen, just because Chuck Norris supported Trump, you don't give a damn about him dying?
No, that's a maggot. No, because you think he cared about us when he went to the voting poll? See, this is the difference between me and you. Okay?
So what, you only give a damn about Democrats?
I'm not a nice Democrat. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not nice.
No, you're not nice at all.
I don't give them. I don't do that.
So what are you suggesting? You don't give a damn about nothing but Democrats?
I sure do, because Democrats give a damn about me. They do. You know what? Let me tell you something. The Democrat Party is not like perfect, but they didn't sell us out. Under Biden, Sleepy Joe, we didn't have to go to a WAR. Our gas wasn't as bad as it is now. Guess what? Our food prices was going down. And what? We had money in our pockets. And what? Every time a Republican gets into office, what happens? A shit show. Our economy going down.
Well, according to Trump, according to Trump, the only reason we're in the run to begin with is they pose an imminent threat to this nation.
You know what? They haven't been a threat. And if he would have kept the treaty that a black man did, we would have been in this. Oh, no. The white tea man has to go over there and be, I don't like this deal. I don't like it. I'm going to shove it up there, you know what? And screw us all. Now look where we at now. That was his first time when he came in. We never had a good economy under this idiot. Now look at now. Our dollars are
you're telling me under Trump's first term, the economy was not bad at all.
Oh my God! Get the uncle.
Well, not only that, but just a month or so ago, the price of gas in this country was not bad under Trump.
Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, let's break this down. Did you remember he had tariffs on washing machines, deep freezers, and everything else?
And?
He was trying, right? Yeah. And the only reason why we first came in was because of Obama. He ran on the coattail of Obama, okay? And then it was going down. Yes, because he was paying tariffs on things. Yes, buy American, you can never buy American. You can't get TVs in America. You feel what I'm saying? This is how ignorant these mofos are. They're ignorant. You can't buy TVs from America. Our stoves don't come from America. My Samsung refrigerator don't come from America.
But is Trump not trying to bring those manufacturing plants
You
back.
know what? You really, truly need to get the cock out your mouth. And you guys report me. You're reporting your ugly ass friend right here. Because when he gets reported two Pookies. You feel what I'm saying? He gets reported two Pookies. So let me break this shit down. I'm so sick of your ugly ass trying to defend this YT trash. I'm so sick of your ugly ass.
How am I trying to defend him?
Because you said, "Oh, we got to the good in this YT man."
I'm giving him credit. I believe in giving Trump credit for where he deserves credit.
What has he done? Okay. Let's break this shit down. Let's break it down. Get off your knees for 1 minute, okay? At least get on your knees for a black woman and not the snow roaches, okay? But let's break this down. What has he done in this term did for us? I'll wait. I mean, give me one bill he did for us. I'll wait.
Well, first of all, we can talk about the Lincoln Riley Act.
Oh, my fucking God. That wasn't a bill, you numbnut.
You want legislation? I'm giving you legislation.
Oh, my God. Lincoln Riley, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's as low as... Is that really?
Was it a bad idea?
Is that really?
Was it a bad idea?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I can name 5 things Biden did. For us.
Do you believe in? Okay.
Do you see this shit? Do you see this? All he has done was for who? The YT rich man. And do you know that I know somebody that just paid no taxes and he's up there? They don't pay taxes, but we pay more taxes than the rich man do. Ain't that about a bitch?
I'm just saying you're making it sound like Trump didn't do anything. I mean, thanks to Trump, we're now getting out all these unknown folks that Biden let in with the open borders.
Okay. Now you gotta get the cock out your mouth because you're dripping really bad. You're dripping. And you know what? I really do need to buy you some knee pads. Let me break this shit down. Let me break this shit down because I can't stand your Negro looking ass. You feel me? On God. Let me tell you this. Biden's numbers and getting people out of here were higher than his ever will be. And numbers do not lie. Even these idiots up here that saying, "Oh, you know what? His numbers are very low." You feel me? Very low.
But do you give Trump credit at all for trying to get unknown folks out of this country?
No, because he's doing it cruel. He's doing it cruel. Now, the Birthright Act is going right now in April. Do you know how serious that shit is?
The birthright,
brown people is going to be affected by this. He don't like your ugly ass. You just suck on that cock so good. I suck on a chocolate man before I suck on a YT man. But see, I'm not like you, Tim. I've never had uncooked protein in my mouth and never will be. I'll never in my body at all. I don't want syphilis. I don't want gonorrhea.
What the hell?
Yeah. I don't want, ugh. See, I like you. I keep it real.
What are
you know what I'm saying? I know where I'm from.
I think you just, I think you just bashing Trump for the sake of bashing him.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He put us in a WAR for nothing. Why do you think we're over there?
Because
they're sending our troops over there, sending Marines over there. Why do you think that is?
Let me ask you.
Your ugly ass.
Let me ask you.
You're going to get money for with your ugly ass?
Let me ask it to you this way. Do you believe preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon was a noble thing to do? Was that the right thing to do?
Oh my God! For one, if he didn't want them to have that, why did he cut the damn treaty? Why did he go in 2018 and say, no, I don't like the damn deal? Why did he do that?
Because he had a better approach. They took Gangsta Grandma down once again. Gangsta, you're always welcome back on the program. They took my guest out. Good question, Tim, says King Finn. Hood question? Anyway, look it in the comments. Bro, you are trying to reason with a KKK person. You are the problem. Courtney, how reason with a KKK person? Wow. Does she have anything intelligent to say? I swear she's eating food. Kevin, I don't know where you're going with that. By the way, tap the screen. I need you guys to get the likes of my YouTube viewers. Get your boy up to about 200 or 170 over here. Tap the screen, get the lights on up on my YouTube viewers. Repent and believe the good news of Jesus Christ, our Redeemer, our Savior, our Lord, our High Priest. Sebastian Gomez is in the comments giving sermons. Don't let that where fool disrespect you. She's a fool and a racist. She doesn't like that. You have common sense, says Courtney. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you. TSA agents haven't gotten paid in a month and they're quitting their jobs. That one is a show in the future. That one is a show in the future. And I want to talk about that for a brief minute. What do you mean no sound? How did the sound go out on their live? TikTok took your audio. Hang on a second, folks. Apparently my TikTok sound or something is gone. So we may have to reset the live on TikTok. Oh, shit. That's crazy. Let me end that one and start over in there. I got to start over the TikTok live apparently. Looking in the comments here. Tell Evil B Babu. That's a tongue twister. It says, tell Gangster Grandma, I love her and miss her. I miss you. Happy Friday. Please be good. Also, Chunk Mouth Commerce is crazy. You guys calling Straight Talk Commerce all these crazy ass names be throwing me off, man. Thank you for the support, Evil B Babu. It's a better approach to distract the people from the Epstein file. It's absolutely doing that, good or bad. Even if you believe that the Iran war was necessary, the distraction part is undeniable. It is distracting us from the war. I mean, because nobody is discussing that. Nobody's discussing Epstein at all. So it is distracting us for that. That is absolutely true. Looking in the comments here, what's with the MAGA hat? Are you a MAGA moron? No, we're not a MAGA moron. And it looks like because of the way TikTok is, we're going to take a few calls. We're going to just do comments at this point. But no, the purpose of the MAGA hat, I get asked that all the time. What do we say in the program? We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are MAGA friendly. The purpose of the MAGA hat is to let my conservative viewers know, because I do believe Republicans, conservatives, and certainly MAGA do not always get a fair shake in the media. So the hat is to let them know when you come on this program, you will be able to speak without the host trying to censor you, limit your time, trying to mute you. We don't do that here. We respect your opinion, MAGA as well. And listen, with a program like with a name like the Handsome Liberal, a lot of MAGA is going to look at that and that's bullshit. He's not going to let me talk. He's only going to lean left and kiss the ass of the Democratic Party. So the MAGA hat is to let MAGA know this program will allow you to speak. We are a MAGA-friendly program. We say it all the time. That doesn't mean we have to agree, but we do believe you and your First Amendment rights are as equal to anyone else. So we don't silence MAGA when they come on the show like a lot of other places do. So that is why we do that. And there's people who don't like that, such as Jay Hayes in the comments. So he says, fuck you. Jay, what are you talking? What did I do? Thank you for your input, though. What did I do? Continuing on, no matter who is the president, Trump or not, there will always be loopholes for the rich. That's true. Trump admitted this to Hillary and how they do nothing about it, even when she was a senator. The problem is, though, and you're correct, Trump did admit that. He admitted the whole system is rigged when he came down the golden escalator and how he's been able to prove it by donating money to both sides and getting a lot of things done. But he didn't just suggest the system is rigged and beneficial to the rich. He indicated he would drain the swamp and change it. He has not lived up to that promise. He has instead took on a system that favors the wealthy and just gotten richer from it. He hasn't done anything. So once Trump's term is over with, all of the problems he pointed out, they all still exist. He hasn't fixed any of that stuff. I'm talking about Congress people that can get involved in insider trading. Now you got politicians with their own crypto, including him. He ain't fixed none of that. He just said, well, shit, if it's here, I'm going to make a bunch of money off of it too. So he didn't drain the swamp. He just joined those in the swamp and became one of the best operating swamp creatures. He's made a killing. President Trump has made a killing as president. All starting from a man who told us he was not going to take a salary. Yeah, he's not taking a salary, but he's making a killing otherwise. So it is what it is. That would be a conflict of interest for all of them. We were dumb enough to believe he'd fix anything of that sort. Well, I'm just simply saying that's what he campaigned on. He campaigned on the system was broken and the loopholes, as one of my viewers mentioned. He made it sound like he was going to get in there and drain the swamp, expose the deep state, and, get the corrupt politicians out of there. He got in there and just said, no, we're going to put our guys in there and do the same shit just in favor of us. I don't see how that benefited anybody. So we just went from corrupt liberals to corrupt Republicans. Give him some time. He's only been in there 1 year. That's not true, Ellen, because he made these promises when he came down the Golden Escalator in 2015. He served a whole term since he made these drain the swamp promises. He served a whole term and didn't do nothing about it. So I disagree with you in saying he's only did 1 year. And by the way, during the course of this 1 year he's only done, have you heard him talking about preventing Congress people from making money off the office? Has he even talked about doing anything like that? So what makes you think, you say he's only been in there 1 year, what makes you think he's going to be any different after 2 years? He's not even talking about that. He's not even bringing that up, that politicians are making a killing while serving this country. He don't even discuss it. So you'll be here next year saying, well, he's only been in 2 years. He's only been in 3 years. Why ain't the next guy campaigning on it? We're just going to keep pushing it out. It's kind of like I can end the Ukrainian-Russian war in 24 hours. Well, it's only been in a year. He said 24 hours. Now it's been a year. Well, now it's been 2 years. Or now, we're just letting him kick the can down the road and not come out and admit the obvious, which is he made a campaign promise and he didn't deliver on it. That's it. That's it. He made a. Does it look like Trump is working to end the Ukrainian-Russian war right now? Does it even look like we're coming close to that? Is he doing anything at all to indicate that he's going to make that one in? You and me ever hook up dual live streams, we make a killing, says T2. True crime content, love to talk OJ and Cosby talk. My main thing is Jeffrey Epstein. P.S. My podcasts are not T2. You let me know. I'll come check you out. My email is on my front of my page. I always come and pay my supporters respect. So I'll come and check your page out. I regularly go into lives of my MAGA supporters and I'll spend a half hour or whatever in the case in there. Some of my viewers will come there and we can all make it a big party. So I'll certainly come in there anytime, T2. And certainly if you want to sweeten it like that. But yeah, and by the way, when you say OJ, I think OJ was guilty. I think Cosby got railroaded because I see you talking about Bill Cosby as well. I think Bill Cosby got railroaded. It is what it is. I didn't say he was innocent. I said he got railroaded. And fortunately for the Bill Cosby's team, they were able to prove he got railroaded, and that's why he's a free man to this day. He said something about it in the State of the Union. He said something about all kinds of shit. What is he actually doing? What is he actually doing to prevent politicians? Because he said something about term limits in many campaign rallies. What is he actually doing, though? Remember, MAGA often says, when liberals are bitching about things Trump says, pay attention to what he does, not what he says. That's what conservatives that support. That's what MAGA says all the time about Trump. Quit complaining about the insults and tweets. Pay attention to what he does, not what he says. Well, when it comes to term limits, he has said a hell of a lot more than he's actually done. when it comes to preventing politicians from enriching themselves off the office, he has said a hell of a lot more than he's actually done. He hasn't done anything to stop that stuff. Up to and including now his children are enriching themselves off of his position. We thought Hunter Biden and Burisma was money. Barron Trump, is he even 25? He's making millions of dollars off of government contracts. How the hell that happened? Barron Trump is making millions of dollars off government contracts while his father is president. No conflict of interest there whatsoever, huh? And we went out there and we talking about Hunter Biden 10% to the big guy. Hunter Biden, I don't know what he's worth, but I doubt if he's even worth as much as Trump's youngest son. I mean, the Trump camp is making a killing off the office, a killing. His daughter, Jared Kushner and Ivanka, $2 billion investment from the Saudis. What did they do to deserve getting that kind of money invested in them? I mean, they're making a killing off the office. And we're talking about 10% to the big guy. Hello, I'm a young Trump supporter. Good evening, welcome to the show, but I am conflicted and confused on the whole Epstein situation. Did he do that stuff? Your name is Sergeant Spartan. You don't sound very young, but Sergeant, you did say I'm a young Trump supporter. Well, did Trump do the stuff that's in the Epstein files and things like that? There's no way to be certain of it. However, his activity, his behavior looks anything but innocent. He is behaving like somebody that has something to hide or that was involved in it. But that's not enough to prove that he was. I mean, he started out his second term by saying, stop talking about Epstein. All of these girls have been abused and victimized, and you're telling people to stop talking about it. Why would you do that? How does that equate to anybody getting justice to suggest that the members of your administration, the ones with all the power that could help these girls out, that they stop talking about it? So his actions don't look like that of an innocent man. I'll leave it at that. And not to mention the whole deliberate delay on releasing the Epstein files, even though an act of Congress said they were supposed to come out. And when they did come out, they were missing all of the shit's redacted. In fact, since you mentioned that, I happen to see this. I don't know if you can see this on, but this is an Epstein shirt. It's just been too cold for me to wear it, but the writing is backwards. But what it basically, you see all of the redactions, it basically says, everything is fine, trust your government. That's the words that show. Everything is fine, trust your government. So, I mean, all of the redactions and shit like that, he just doesn't come across as somebody that looks innocent. And I'm going to tell you this, if any liberal was acting like Trump, the right would be saying that person was guilty. It just would. I mean, his activity looks terrible. Anyway, Obama did nothing. Clinton did nothing. Biden did nothing. Epstein with the jail under Trump and the files came out under Trump. Live with it. Trump's done more than any. No, the files didn't come out under Trump. They had to be forced. An act of Congress is why those files came out under Trump. They didn't come out under Trump because Trump wanted to release them. You didn't need Congress to release those files. If Trump all Trump had to do was tell Pam Bondi, release the files. He didn't do that. He was trying to prevent him from getting released. That's why you needed Congress to go around him. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're going to tell me that Trump is calling her now Marjorie Trader Brown. What the hell has she done to get that designation? I'm asking MAGA. What the hell has Marjorie Taylor Greene done for Trump to be referring to her as a traitor? She voted with Trump 98% of the time. Probably the best record of anybody in Congress. 98% of the time she voted in favor of Trump's policies. How the hell did she become a traitor? What did she do other than try to get justice for those girls? That's all it took, is to pursue justice for those girls, and suddenly Trump is calling her a traitor. Does that sound like a man who's innocent? Even if Trump did not abuse anyone, and like I said, there's no proof that he did, but even if Trump didn't abuse anybody, at the very least, he's protecting those that did. He's protecting pedophiles. Let's be clear, when you are convicted of abusing a minor, or even a full-grown adult, if you get convicted of rape, they put you on a sex offender registry. The reasoning behind that is they believe if you've done it once, you're going to have the urges to do it again. They believe that often will last most of your life. That's why folks who go on the sex offender registry, particularly pedophiles, it's usually for life. It's usually for life. So here's the reason why I'm bringing this up. By Trump keeping the Epstein files under wraps so that we do not know who the actual abusers are, if you believe somebody who abused a child will do it again, he is making it so that they can continue to abuse people as we speak. These are all very wealthy, very powerful people. And thanks to Trump, you don't know who they are. So if they are pedophiles and he has not revealed any of them, they're out abusing. You can only assume they're out abusing more kids right now. They're only out abusing more people. So whether or not you think he did anything, I mean, I guess I would ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being equal, what do you rate somebody that's not a pedophile, but they actively protect one? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being just as bad as a pedophile themselves. If you know somebody that has never abused a kid, but they're actively working to protect somebody who did, are they any less guilty in your opinion? Because he actually is doing that. I don't think there's any, I'm not going to convict the guy of actually harming children because we don't know, but he absolutely is helping those who did. It's undeniable that he is absolutely helping folks who abused children. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene stated that he screamed at her and told her, if we release the file, some of my friends will get hurt. He didn't say they were innocent. He said some of my friends will get hurt. He's more concerned with protecting people that were not abused in the files than helping those who were. Does he really have to actually have abused any kids himself for that to look wrong? He's done enough from that. Even if he never touched a kid at all, he's clearly protecting those who did. He's clearly putting abusers, the privacy of abusers, over helping the abused. So I mean, like, does he really have to abuse a kid for you to see some wrong in that? So I don't know. Like I said, what he is doing is pretty bad, because we all know Trump could snap his fingers and you would have access to as much of the Epstein files as he wants you to, or he could let Congress and Senate go in there and have as much access to the Epstein files as he wants. He's not working to get any of that stuff made public. He hasn't aided letting any of that come out to the light. He's been a resistor. He's been putting up resistance to letting folks know what's in that stuff the whole time. Up to and including having the Justice Department send in a team, go over all the files before anybody got access to them, and scrub out parts that had his name in there. I mean, like I said, we can defend him, or we can convict him, whatever the case may be. One thing you can't deny is he's helped out some abusers. He is helping abusers, whether he is one or himself or not. He is helping abusers. Hard if you don't at least see that, then yeah, you're just going to defend the guy no matter what. Anyway, he says he's bitching in the files more than anyone. Yeah, like I said, It's hard to look at that and just say this guy's innocent of everything. Why are you protecting the ones who are guilty? Why? I mean, has he even mentioned the folks that were victimized? Said anything about them at all? Visited them or talked? I mean, has he mentioned? Because there's like a lot of women that were victimized that are in those. Has he even addressed them at all? Said anything about them whatsoever? Giving you any inclination that he cares about the victims? Have you seen any of that? Anything you can bring up was, well, at least he showed this or at least he did that. Have you seen anything? He's mentioning it in the files because Epstein did not like him because he turned him into the FBI and a sheriff. Yeah, but none of that excuses what I'm talking about, though. You can bring up that he supposedly turned Epstein into a sheriff back in 2005. Why ain't he doing anything now when he has a significant amount of power, more than he did back in 2005? Why not release the names of the folks that are in the files that abuse girls? Why are you hiding that? He's protecting people that have abused children. He's doing that now. Bringing up anything he done in 2005 does not excuse what he's doing now. Sergeant Spartan, things are not black and white. All you can do is put Christ first and live accordingly. Presidents come and go. True, that is true. Epstein even said Trump is the most evil person he's met. Damn. But the Democrats kept taking money from Epstein. Any new people? Let me just say this. There's no way in hell I don't believe that the Obama, what is the guy named? Eric Holder. All of them folks knew what Epstein was doing. Obama, Biden, Trump, and all of their attorney generals know because they all had access to the files. And it ain't just them. There's a lot of judges that signed off on non-disclosure agreements, both the victims that took the money or made the charges have lawyers. Same as the defendants, the men themselves who slept with the kids. They got lawyers in these. There's a lot of people that know who's in the Epstein files. It ain't just the presidents keeping their mouths shut. There's a lot of people that know who these people are. There are judges everywhere that know because they've signed off on agreements and all kinds of shit. There's one case where a girl was interviewed 4 times claiming that Trump tried to force her to have oral sex and she bit his penis and he punched her. The FBI interviewed this girl 4 times. So that means the agents that interviewed her know. They have bosses. The agents, you gotta report to your boss what you're doing. I mean, there are people everywhere that know who's in these files. Even if you take Trump completely out of the picture, there are people out there that know what went on, and chose to keep quiet about it. So, it doesn't just start with Trump. However, bringing up the fact that the Democrats under Biden or Obama sat on the files too is not a defense for Trump. If you want to suggest that they're guilty too, we can roll with that. But that ain't a defense for Trump. Well, Obama didn't release it. Biden didn't. He didn't release. So bringing up somebody else is not a defense. That's all I'm saying. It's like getting pulled over for speeding and pointing to another car zipping down the highway and saying he's speeding too. That doesn't make what you're doing any less illegal. That's not a defense bringing up other people, but you hear that a lot. Trump has testimony against him. Well, good roll with that first instead of putting all the blame on Trump. No, I didn't put all the blame on Trump. Somebody asked me, do I think Trump abused the kids? That's it. They didn't ask me, do I think Obama did it or Biden did it? They asked me, did I think Trump did it? And my answer was, there's no way to know, but looking at how Trump has behaved does not indicate an innocent man. Nothing about that requires bringing up Biden or Obama. That's why their names didn't come up. Bringing up Biden or Obama has nothing to do with the question that was presented. But I suppose that's what you want me to throw out there. The maids knew. Yeah, the maids knew. I mean, think about how many people worked on Epstein Island. Contractors, chefs, maids, gardeners, and lawn care people. They saw what the fuck was going on. I mean, you see this dude is in the pool and there's a bunch of kids in the pool with him. They seen what was going on. I mean, you know, they were probably felt confident or comfortable enough to do some of that shit out in the open. Some of them probably were French kissing young 14, 15-year-olds and every damn thing. They're on the island. They're the most powerful men on the planet. They felt confident. I'm sure there are gardeners and shit like that that saw some of that stuff. But in the comments, Mark disagrees. Mark Warren says, you're so full of crap. That's some real third world woke tart logic. Woke tart. I'm learning something there, Mark. Thank you for your input. Let me know give me what I'm saying that is third world logic. Let me know. Third woke tart logic. Well, let me know. I'll respond to it. Looking in the comments though, woke tart logic. I'd like to know what that is. You believe Taco Drumpf, you are a MAGA. Dumb down. Thanks, Reagan. Oosh. Democrat, Republican, we need to stop concentrating on the party, stop concentrating on the individuals involved. Too much money in politics for that to happen. I get what you're saying, but as long as we have the amount of money we have in politics, you're not going to get that. You got to get money out of politics. The maids knew, the security guards, the interior designers, all of them people knew. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. They seen young kids and shit roaming around, little girls that are still on their period with dudes that are, old enough to be their dads. I mean, I'm sure they were probably smacking some of them on the ass and things like that. Might have been serving minors alcohol and everything on that island. Yeah, people saw it. I'm sure people saw it. And I see in the comments, PB wants to make it known I'm an Uncle Ruckus. Woke tart, lip tart, you're both, says whatever the name is. Too many people perpetrate division through the guise of Dems versus Republicans when we need to stand united for common goals that benefit the majority of staff. I agree with that, but you gotta look, while the nation needs unity, and I agree with that, we didn't elect unity. It ain't, look, say what you want about Trump, criticize him all you want. It ain't like he indicated that he was trying to bring us together. He was pretty straightforward that his goal was to divide us. I mean, he made it clear on Sean Hannity, I'm going to be your president of retribution. He was saying Democrats hate America, et cetera, et cetera. So no one should be surprised that under Trump we're divided. I mean, we intentionally elected division. He told us he was going to be divisive. We put him in, and he's doing it. He's promises made, promises kept. So under Biden, if you believe that Biden, witch hunt or went after Trump or what, Biden didn't promise to be divisive though. So if you want to say Biden was divisive or whatever the case may be, you can throw that out there, but he didn't campaign on it. Neither did Obama. Trump made it clear during the campaign, I'm going to be divisive, and we elected him. So we can't claim that we want unity when we deliberately chose a candidate that was running on division. Fit and Fitting Family. I forgot about Instagram is running. We'll bring him up if it came. I don't think it brought him up. There we go. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Mm-hmm.
You got apparently it's not working well. It looks like it's kind of. Are you able to hear me clearly?
I can hear you, but it's like
a delay.
Okay. What the hell is going on, bro?
It's got to be on your side because my internet's up today.
I got a mad delay.
Yeah. Go ahead and drop, and we'll try it again briefly, but go ahead and drop and we'll see because you're not coming through reliably. Drop it and I'll bring you back up. The GOP has 26 straight special elections. We'll see what happens with that. But King Finn, go ahead and drop and we'll try to bring you back up. And what does that say? The snake story he loves telling you was referring to himself. I don't know what that means. Like I'm lucky to live in a community and we're near the city, but everybody on My food block radius knows each other. We look out for each other. Doesn't matter who we vote for. I like that. That's how it should be. But like I said, we didn't vote for unity. And I'm one who believes that unity starts at the top. You don't come together under divisive leadership. You just don't, because you're going to have leadership constantly trying to pit you two against each other. And unless we all just look at him and say he don't know what the hell he's talking about and he's wrong, that's not going to happen. I mean, he promised division. So you got division. He's kind of delivering on his promise. And when Trump found out, what did he say? Female MAGA voter in Pennsylvania to the dumpster. You are a worthless pile of shit. Maybe more MAGAs have turned the corner. Damn. Yikes. White women voted for Trump, but be preaching feminism. That's going to be a challenge to do both of those together, because the MAGA side of the aisle, a lot of MAGA I've talked to believe in the hierarchy, man, woman, well, God, man, woman, child. There's a lot of MAGA that do not believe women are on equal footing with men. I've had many of them on the program. Let's try it again. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I just want to bring up some quick facts.
Sure.
What happened to TikTok, man? Gangsta Grandma got you popped?
Gangsta Grandma got me popped, yes.
Hey, sorry, man.
It ain't her. I think it's the report, people reporting her. I mean, I can get back on, but we're going to be probably wrapping it up soon, so I just let it go, though.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we got some problems, King. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it. Apparently, there's something going on there.
Hey, did you see this?
And now that just happened. Anyway, let me turn this damn thing off because it's acting goofy. You can go to prison in England for saying the wrong thing. It's ridiculous, and they're stabbing each other in record numbers in England. You have to sign to get kitchen knives there. I don't believe that stuff. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. I don't believe that in England it's gotten like their First Amendment or free speech or whatever. I haven't heard these stories. I hear from people on the right saying that if you say certain things, you can get locked up. I haven't seen any links, any real examples of somebody that got locked up for just talking in England. Now, yeah, stabbings happen. Stabbings absolutely happen in England because they don't have access to firearms. But stabbings happen in America too. And people get shot. So I will absolutely tell you that in terms of death threats, I think America is significantly worse than in England. They don't have the school shootings or school stabbings that we do. Kids don't get stabbed up in schools in England, nowhere near to the level of kids getting shot in schools and public places in America. So, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any verifiable stories of Englanders getting locked up for speech. I've heard MAGA saying this stuff, but I haven't seen it in reality. So I'll leave it at that. I love that you deal with the facts, not the hype. Thank you, Townsend, Cat. Or the bull. You deal with the facts, not the hype or the bullshit. You research just like a person should before they open their mouth. Respect and Thunder from Virginia. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. You guys got a governor down there that's making waves there in Virginia now. When you wrap up, give me a call. I see you there. Don't know who that is though. Flunky sick as fuck. It's the Capitalism and Paganism Society. Well, we like capitalism. We just don't like some of the consequences of having a capitalist government. I mean, some of that shit that Kennedy points out. Bad stuff in your food, childhood obesity. Where do you think that stuff comes from? People trying to get rich by putting your health at risk. I mean, that's part of capitalism. People with no knowledge of the situation always has an opinion. What is the situation? White people in America got kicked out of England. Flunkies, white people are devils, not all. Damn, Teddy. The rich just want to control the wealth of the world. That is true. That is absolutely true. no matter who is president, division will always be sought out for because it keeps us down and unable to rise against the people at the top. Yeah, but it's a difference between division being sought out and the president promising to be divisive. Big difference. George W. Bush was nowhere near as divisive as Trump. Ronald Reagan was nowhere near as divisive as Trump. Mitt Romney, John McCain, look at their campaigns. It was nowhere near as divisive as Trump. So it's not like any politician you put in there is always going to be. No, it was significantly greater under Trump. And that's even the first term. For folks who might suggest, well, he was only divisive because they tried to lock him up. They tried to impeach him twice. He was divisive his first term too. I mean, Obama's born in Kenya, that type of shit. He was pretty divisive his first term. The nicknames and all of that stuff. He was already doing that stuff. The only difference between his first term and his second term is he didn't have an administration that was promoting the divisiveness, but he was doing it in his first term too. So, he promised division. And I will tell you this, I can't do nothing but give Trump credit. Division has worked for him probably throughout his adult life. I can't blame him for using what has worked. It's worked well for him. So he's only doing what he's had great success with. Now, so what do you expect him to do? And I do want to bring something up because somebody said something that I want to bring up here. And if I can I'm typing and talking at the same time, but I do want to bring this up because I've played this before. I mentioned, President Trump saying Obama was born in Kenya as being divisive. Anytime I say that, it's highly likely that I'm going to get MAGA that's going to jump in the program and agree with Trump. Yeah, Obama was born in Kenya is what they always say. Because you guys know Trump was saying Obama was born in other countries and things like that. So I want to ask, if Obama was indeed born in Kenya, how can anybody explain this?
I shouldn't mention her in the same breath, but Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther.
What I'm playing, I want you to hear this, but I'm going to see if I can find a clip that has better audio to it because this sounds terrible. That actually sounds terrible to the point where you can barely hear it. I'll go with this one here. Let's see if this one sounds better.
Late this morning, Donald Trump tried to put to
let me see here. I want you to hear this because this is, why the hell is the real one? I got a clip of this.
United States, period. Obama.
Words. Trump summed up several years of controversy that he helped promote in just a few words.
President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
Trump blamed Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign for starting the controversy in the first place. Earlier, Clinton took a jab.
And by the way, that's another thing that appears to be a lie from President Trump. There is no video evidence whatsoever to suggest that Hillary Clinton started the birther movement. That's something Trump has said, and I echoed it, and I cannot find any clips whatsoever that Hillary Clinton ever said that. But because I was saying it myself, I was like, well, Hillary Clinton did start it. And a few viewers called me out on it, and I went researching it. I can't find anything that ever shows Hillary Clinton ever indicating that Barack Obama was not born in America. So run with that. But Trump said for quite a while that Barack Obama was born elsewhere. And here you hear him at the end. This is what I was trying to play, but the audio was terrible on this.
In the same breath, but Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy. I finished it. You know what I mean? President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period. Now we all want to get back to making America strong and great again.
So he's admitting it, and I always play this when MAGA says, well, yeah, he was born in Kenya. Then that means he's lying then. Either Barack Obama was born in America Or if he was born in Kenya, then that means Trump is lying. I mean, that is one or the other. It can't be both because he's on record saying he was born in America now. So this is what happens when you say something so long that's not true and then you have to backtrack. You got a whole lot of followers now, they believe it. So his followers have no explanation for this now. And that's where the problem is. The dumpster threatened the Iran soccer team. Iran is now trying to negotiate their games to be played in Mexico. I don't see how the World Cup happens. I don't see how that happens. I mean, we've made so many enemies. I mean, who's going to come to America to even see that shit? I mean, I don't see how that happens. It would not surprise me if, within a few weeks, couple months, it gets announced that the games are being canceled or they're not choosing to host them in America or something like that. I can't see how that continues with all of the enemies in stuff we're doing. I mean, even our NATO member nations are not happy with us right now. Not to mention we're at war. So if you come to America, you could end up being a victim of a terrorist attack because there's countries that don't like us. You got to also assume that certain countries we're not going to let citizens in from those countries. Can Iranian athletes, are they going to let them in America? So yeah, it would not surprise me if we end up canceling that. I don't see how that should still be expected to continue. Anyhow, Trump needs participation trophies for child molesting. Damn, that's horrible. Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate you folks tuning in with the lack of callers due to TikTok. But if you favor what we're doing here, I'll ask you one more time to like and subscribe. I need you to hit that like button. Subscribe to the program. We're generally on every weekday, most weekdays, Monday through Friday. We will be on this weekend. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. So it does not matter what your political affiliation is. We'll give you plenty of time to state your case. You can be critical of anybody on the program. I get called all kinds of goddamn names. I'm about free speech. We don't censor you because of speech. Probably the only thing we'll censor you for is, folks want to type the N-word. I don't give a fuck. But the apps do. So if you're typing that over and over again, that and spamming, we have to take you down. Because the apps will do that. You can fuck up the whole show. So probably, some folks like to get in there and type the N-word over and over again when they see my face and all that. Whatever. But I can't let that happen because the app will take you down. Other than that, we don't mind free speech here. So if you favor free speech, go ahead and give your boy a sub, follow the program, and understand if you ever want to be a caller on the show, you want to actually be up live and getting involved in the scrapping, for lack of a better term. Follow us on the Handsome Liberal Substack, the Handsome Liberal TikTok, or the Handsome Liberal on Instagram. That's where you hear the audio callers coming from. We do have accounts on Truth Social, X, Rumble, Clapper. Clapper, we're going to start going. I'm going to try to start going live on Clapper. I know there's a lot of conservatives there. And you can actually bring up callers. So if you have the app Clapper, follow the Handsome Liberal there. We're going to start bringing up Clapper because I do want to be able to take as many conservatives and MAGA callers as I can. So if you have Clapper, follow us there as well. But we're on a bunch of platforms. The Handsome Liberals on all these platforms, but the ones you can bring people up live are Clapper, Substack, Instagram, and TikTok that we have right now. Rumble, I've been somebody said, what a name, Clapper. Well, that's the name of the app, Clapper. So if you have it, follow us, give us a sub, whatever the case may be, and same on YouTube. Anyhow, folks, you guys take care. Evil Bible says, how does it feel to get popped by Gangsta Grandma? Popped the cherry. Yeah. I've been popped by Gangsta Grandma many times. Gangsta Grandma is flamboyant, for lack of a better term. She is flamboyant, so to speak. So it happens. It happens. Straight Talk has had it happen. Gangsta Grandma is probably a lot less civilized than most MAGA. Most MAGA comes on the program, and while we may disagree, they're fairly civil, but Gangsta Grandma goes off. But, when you invite free speech, that doesn't mean you're going to get speech that you always agree with. So I welcome her back anytime she comes as well. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys take care. Follow the program. Give us a sub on YouTube. See you then. Thank you.